Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regularly scheduled commission meeting. The time is now 6:02, June 10th, 2026. Madam Clerk, can you go ahead, roll call, please?
Commissioner Bass.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Santiago.
Present.
Mayor Taylor.
Here. As we stand for our invocation led by Dr. Bass, followed by our pledge of allegiance led by the entire commission.
Father, we just want to say thank you. Thank you, Father God, for the opportunity to get here to serve. Father, we ask you'll continue to bless us, bless our residents, bless each and every one of us. Father God, continue to pour your blessings upon our city. Continue to give us wisdom, knowledge, revelation, and understanding and love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we're moving over to awards, proclamations, and acknowledgements, and I will yield to Vice Mayor Kelly. I see that you have a recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have two presentations. I don't see Dr. Samuels. I do see Pastor Pinellas. I don't know if he's representing his son tonight to receive his commendation. Just a little background. As a part,
you want to push it back to public presentation?
well, I don't know if he's coming or not.
Okay.
He's there.
No, he's wanted to stand for
Okay.
I don't know. He didn't say. Pastor Pinellas, is your son Crispy coming? No.
Not coming.
No, he's not coming.
Okay. As a part of our Arabian Nights Fest, of course, we know that the gospel portion of it was not budgeted, but we went ahead, were motivated, and with the support of my colleagues, we were able to have the Gospel Fest on that Sunday. And a part of that was two individuals who were not able, we were able to give them their commendation. And one of them is Crispy, which is his name for singing, who participated in our Gospel Fest. And the other one was Dr. Clinton Samuels, who I did not see. But I want to go ahead, if my colleagues would join me briefly to present to Pastor Pinella's son the commendation for his son on behalf of the Arabian Nights Gospel Fest, if you would join me. Well, since Commissioner Bass, you're in the middle, I will allow you to do the, she can't, Commissioner Santiago, come on down here. You got your glasses. Come on down here and you can't, come on, Commissioner Santiago, just a couple of them. And I'm doing that because even though it was not budgeted, Commissioner Bass and Commissioner Santiago stepped in to assist us, of course, with the support of the Mayor and Commissioner Irvin, to make sure we had a successful gospel fest. We want to present this commendation that Commissioner Santiago is going to read a couple of the whereases.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. 1, 2. Oh, thank you, Vice Mayor Joseph Kelly. And thank you, Pastor Pinale, to be here for receive the recommendation that we do another heart for your son, that he getting very popular with that name, the Crispy. And I know that he's doing a very good presentation that day. And like Vice Mayor Kelly say, thank you for our colleague, Dr. Commissioner Shalene Bass, to supporting us, to Vice Mayor Joseph Kelly, that he really cared in that part for the community to have that night, the end of the night for the Arabian Night, praying to the Lord and say thank you to God for everything that he do every day for us here in the great city of Opa-locka. Like I say, the great city of Opa-locka, the Vice Mayor Joseph F. Kelly, hosted by Commissioner Dr. Cheline Bass, Commissioner Dr. Cheline Bass, Mayor John H. Taylor, and Commissioner Natasha Irving, along with the citizen of the great city of Opa-locka. We heavily comment to Christian Pinale, Crispy, the recognizing to the participation in the Arabian Night Gapper Fest and experience the community through music, fair, and art expression.
Very good, very good.
Oh, I forgot to read that Louis B. Santiago was here too.
Louis B. Santiago. I got
Okay,
it.
thank you. Do you want to say?
His name not on there?
At least thank you.
His name not on there?
All right, thank you to Crispy. There's a local superstar here in Opa-locka,
Yes.
local superstar, and he has a great talent. So we thank you, Pastor Pinellas, for loaning your son to us whenever we call him. And I also want to thank the host and co-host of the Arabian Nights Gospel Fest. It was an awesome event.
Hey, you sang.
It was it was an awesome event. We're going into the approval of the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls, deletions, or deferrals at this time?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Santiago?
Yeah, I like to pull number 1, 3, and 4 for questions.
All right, any other pulls, deletions, or deferrals? All right,
Mr. Mayor,
Madam Manager?
I would like to defer agenda items 15A1 and 2 to a date not certain.
What?
15A1 and A2.
Mr. Mayor, I had a amendment for an item. I don't know if the attorney has it prepared for one of the items. You do have prepared.
Yes,
Could you state which item it is?
it's for item 2, the community newspaper.
Yeah, it didn't get pulled, so I'll pull it just to add the amendment. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, and I would like to pull, I know it's it was mine, but Commissioner's co-sponsored with me, where is it? Item 16A4.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna pull number 6. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. I apologize. Number 6.
I'm deferring item 16A4. And Vice Mayor, you're pulling item number 6, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Which item you referring?
ordinance 16A4. To the next commission meeting, Madam Manager. All right,
Agenda, number 6 is pulled.
yes, ma'am. All right, so real quick, I'll do a recap and then then you can tell me if this is what you all wanted. So I have Commissioner Santiago pulled item number 1, Vice Mayor Kelly, item 2, Commissioner Santiago, item 3, Commissioner Santiago, item 4, Vice Mayor Kelly, item number 6. The manager deferred item 15A1 and 15A2, and myself deferred item 16A4. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Move it.
To consent agenda, I'm sorry.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago, second by Vice Mayor Kelly. Madam Clerk,
Commissioner Irvin?
Madam Clerk, you heard 16A4, right?
Yes.
Okay,
That item is sponsored by the commission
Yeah.
and you're deferring it?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Commissioner Baz.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, I see here that you put on my desk that we have an add-on item, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We have an ordinance that would be included if amended as agenda item 14-1 under new items. And this ordinance is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending Article 3, Section 22-55 of the City of Opa-locka's Land Development Regulations pertaining to site plan applications, specifically amending said section to add new letter E, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Santiago. And again, if amended, this item will be included as 14-1 on the agenda.
Commissioner Santiago, can you please state the emergency nature for this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The reason to bring the ordinance to the my colleagues and to the public is regarding about the incident or the tragedy that we have 2 weeks ago in that famous area that we have in Cairo Lane. And I know people remember what happened out there. And we have a group of business people that they be operating here in the great city of Opa-locka for a long time. And they invest in there probably half of the life in that area, and they lose everything in only in hours. And one of the major situation or problem we can call it that they have is that many of these businesses, for some reason or for something, the companies, insurance company, they're not giving them, the kind of coverage that they need. More of them, they lose everything. And they don't have, many ways to go back. And they be asking to the commissioner, they be asking to the city for help. And I explaining today to everybody out there, I think they are like 7 property owners that they be affecting in that area. And we're telling the truth. The city, we do the best we can to helping you and to try to see how can we make something the quick or the faster we can to make your business starting again from the ground to
Commissioner,
operate.
I don't mean to
Yes.
interrupt you, but tell us what the item is, and then we're gonna vote whether or not it's gonna come on the agenda.
Yes.
And you can debate it at that time.
Okay, not a problem, Mr. Mayor. I try only to let you know where did that come from.
The gist of it.
The item is to try to provide this affecting people. Only that affecting people is not for nobody else. The temporary permit to installing a temporary office, a trailer for the office that they need to restart in the business in Cairo Lane.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion to add this to the agenda on tonight?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago. Can I get another motion to add this to the agenda? All right, motion dies for lack of a second. All right, moving on to the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
This was added to the agenda, but what I didn't hear, I know you asked the sponsor, but the question really I have, does it meet the criteria for the emergency? Because this is like an add-on. That's the real question to the manager or someone.
Madam Mayor?
The,
Madam Attorney?
the only issue is, the issue is it's being brought as an ordinance, and an emergency ordinance would be a one reading. It doesn't meet that criteria. So, for one reading, so that's my answer. I don't know if the manager has something else.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay,
One second.
okay, so the emergency, it will require certain situations. I get it. It's not so much the ordinance, but the fact that it's like an add-on. That's what I'm really getting at. If it had followed the normal, regular process, but it's add-on. So for add-ons, Mr. Mayor, and you're the chair, normally for add-ons, it has to meet a certain threshold that the state wants to see. And that's why I'm asking that question. So I don't want folks to think nobody wants to try to assist, help, or do what we can, but I want to make sure we're following the structure of how the state says we have to lay out things for add-on items of this nature. They normally have to meet a certain threshold. And this is an ordinance, which makes it even more challenging. So, okay, all right. Well, I won't listen to the attorney's explanation. I'll just leave it there because I don't want to go past that.
Got
Thank
it.
you, Mr. Spear.
No problem. So Commissioner Santiago, I guess the only other option is to bring it at the next commission meeting.
Um,
And then we'll go from there.
oh,
'Cause it-
oh.
Go ahead.
that's it.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I say, okay, leaving like that. The only try to say, nobody tried to do anything out of the any ordinance or any rules or regulation that the state of Florida have. Talking about 7 of these business owners that they have everything in play, license, everything that they need for the state, for the Dade County. The only thing that I try to is help them for something that they can start and operate it. But it's fine. It's not a problem. It's die. We living like that. And let's see how can we help in the future.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
All right.
It's not that
So-
it's out.
Yeah, we're kind of moving on. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm not
It's
gonna
out.
let that slide. It's not about not wanting to help folks. It's about following the process of the law that we have to follow based on legal counsel. And because it's an ordinance that's brought to us at the last minute, unlike a regular ordinance that's properly noticed, that's why I asked the question. So I don't want anybody leaving here thinking, it's fine that we're not concerned, but there are certain things we have to do to adhere to the state law and our own process. Okay, so I tend not to say anything when those statements come up, but I'm not going to let that one pass because all of us up here are concerned. We saw the businesses come last meeting, and I too had indicated it's on the record, even wanted to have a workshop or some setting with the commission to see what we could do. And I didn't get any kind of correspondence from anyone saying that something was held. So I'm going on the process and what the law says we have to follow, not the fact of not wanting to help any business in the city, especially those who are affected like they are. So I would just, want to put that on the record. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Got it. All right. Moving on to the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the next agenda?
Move it.
Moved
Second.
by Commissioner Irvin, second by Dr. Bass. Madam Clerk, on the agenda?
Commissioner Santiago,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Going into the approval of the minutes, the regular commission meeting minutes from May 27, 2026. I entertain a motion at this moment.
Move.
Moved by Commissioner Irvin. Can I get a second on the minutes?
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Bass. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
And I don't see any District 1, District 2, or states representatives here. So I'm gonna yield back to Vice Mayor Kelly on the public presentation to continue his public presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very briefly, I see Dr. Samuels did come in. We had gotten past that part in the program, but since he did such an awesome job being IMC, I'm going to ask my colleagues to join me, and we're going to do this expeditiously because I do want to present him, even though we're past that part. Dr. Samuels, come on up. Bring the family up. Everybody up. We're going to do it. And, recognize you. I'm not going to read all the whereases, but because it was read earlier, but we want to honor you and thank you for your emceeing the program, your inspiration, and what you brought to the Gospel Fest. And I've been around a long time, and I know as well as you do, it takes a lot to MC to get folks involved. But I will say, we had church, and it was wonderful. So on behalf of myself as the host commissioner, Dr. Shirley Bass, co-host Commissioner Louis B. Santiago, co-host, of my colleagues, the City Commission, Mayor John H. Taylor Jr., who you passed the mic to, and Commissioner Tasha Irvin, who was clapping in the back, along with the citizens of the great state of Opa-locka, do hereby commend Dr. Glenton Samuels in recognition of outstanding role as Master of Ceremonies for the Arabian Nights Gospel Fest and for his unwavering dedication to faith, education, leadership, and community empowerment through service and inspiration. Presented this 10th day of June, 2026, and it's signed by me, the mayor. It's signed by all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Dr. Samuels, and to your beautiful wife. Thank you for always lending him to us, because we call him a lot. So we're gonna move on to our citizens forum. Madam Clerk, can you please state for the record how to participate in citizens forum?
City of Opa-locka Commission meetings are held in person at the Opa-locka Government Center, City Commission Chambers, 780 Fisherman Street, 3rd floor, Opa-locka, Florida. Members of the public wishing to address the commission may do so in person or virtually. Those persons wishing to participate virtually should register prior to the scheduled meeting time on the city's website at www.opalockafl.gov. When speaking before the commission, please make sure to give your full name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit for public comments. Please adhere to the decorum policy, which is a part of the commission meeting agenda. City commission meetings are aired through live stream at www.youtube.com/user/city of Opa-locka.
All right. You said there's no,
And Mr. Mayor, we do not have any virtual public comments at this time.
all right, so those of you in the chamber, citizens forum is open.
Good evening. Mark Cooper, 6801 Southwest 75 Terrace, Miami, Florida, 33143. Is this on?
1 second, Mr. Cooper. Just try now. Talk now. It's good.
Okay, I provided a packet of information regarding the Cuyahoga project. I also gave it to the applicant's attorney and our city's staff. I stand in opposition to this project. It was here about 1.5 years ago. It was declined at the end of that hearing. Commissioner Kelly said, as an admonition to all of us, you guys have to know nothing is going to change from here to the future. This project remains dead, and it has happened. Nothing's changed except the city of Opa-locka has gotten better. We have a 5K run. We have a community. We have residents, new people coming here. The only thing that's remained the same is the property. And so from page 1 of my packet, what I want to show you is that's a 7.5 acre property. On page 2, the Mosaic project on 22nd Avenue basically has 1/4 of the land, and they built 98 units. Let's say you have 2 residents per unit. That's 200 people. If you multiply it by 4, that's 800 additional people we can bring into Opa-locka. Opa-locka has about 16,000 residents. That's 5%. New people going to Holmes Elementary, new people using the park, new people participating in government, new people making this city a real city. The only thing that hasn't changed is the contamination on the property. The ownership has changed. And so the Mosaic property, page 3, pays in real estate taxes to Dade County $450,000 a year for 200 residents. It's all a benefit to our city. $450,000. If you multiply that by 4, which is the size of the other property, is about $1,800,000-900,000 in tax revenue that we're not collecting by not forcing the issue of making these people clean up the land and bring residents to our property. And so the developer of the Mosaic property, as soon as they bought the property, they paid like $1.9 million for it. They took out a $24 million loan. It was a church property. It wasn't paying any taxes. And they built a thing. Now it's worth $19 million. They borrowed $25 million the other day. And so the crux of their argument is the property's too dirty for it to be used for residential. My time's up. I'll do it on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Citizens Forum is still open?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor
Good
and
evening.
fellow commissioners. My name is Richard Dunn, City of Miami, 1895 Northwest 57th Street. I'm a member of the Community Youth Against Violence, and I'm going to yield now to our President and CEO, Dr. Lorenzo Johnson. And we're here to follow up on the prospects of the teen curfew.
Lorenzo Johnson, CEO, founder of Community Youth Against Violence, 111 North of 183rd Street Suite.
One second, Pastor.
Yeah.
Madam Manager, can you please ask IT to turn the volume up?
We can't hear. I'll just take it out your hand and hold it because we can't hear you.
Yeah. Don't tune up.
Do it like you did on Sunday. Yeah, don't tune up, though.
Don't tune up. They like to say a few.
Can I hoop?
Two
Can I
minutes.
hoop?
No,
Can I
you-
hoop?
Go ahead, sir.
Just want to, we're here, like we always say, like I always open up and say, we don't want no money. We just want to be able to help save the lives, help prevent lives of young folks and try to bring accountability in households. And this project has been okayed by your committee here, and it's been going on a year now. So we've been back and forth. And we do have the county with us today to explain briefly where they're at, because we do have a contract with the Opa-locka. I guess they was thinking, that they need to have the county in. And I think that basically what that is that they just need to do the procedure with the county and have the relationship with a contract with us, because we have the organization, because we're the one that's going to connect and ones that's going to be dealing with some of the family, along with other organizations that the county has as well. So we wanted to try to see where we're at with that. It's been a long time, going on a year now. And we just trying to save lives. That's it. And so I thought that this would be a urgent situation for us. We don't want nothing to happen. It may save a life. So that's what we're about here, trying to save a life. And this is not just a city. This is a county-wide effort that we're doing. And we're trying to get all the municipalities in, because we don't want a kid to be able to cross the street and say, okay, you can't touch me now. So we want to be able, it's not running the kids down. It's just developing accountability in the household to try to seek out what's going on in the household, because a lot of times it ain't the kid fault when they're acting up and acting out. You can see through the country now, a lot of stuff is going on with these youth, and we just don't want a life be sacrificed. So we're going to try to help save the lives of children, basically. I'm going to let Ms. Elena from the county, Dade County.
Sure. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Elena Angulo. I'm with Community Services Department, formerly Juvenile Services Department, with Miami-Dade County. And
Can you state your address for the record?
so my work address is 275 Northwest 2nd Street, Miami, Florida, 33128. What we do, or how we play a role in the juvenile curfew violation, or the juvenile curfew ordinance, is that Miami-Dade County does have a county-wide juvenile curfew ordinance, where the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office and all the other municipalities are enforcing it. They administer the citations to the juveniles, and as our prevention program, they send the referrals to us. We process the referrals. We double check eligibility. If the youth is eligible for our prevention services, we offer that to them because the juvenile curfew is not a crime. However, some of these youth are displaying at-risk behaviors. We offer our prevention services to the families. They are free of charge. And once they come into our prevention program, we do administer evidence-based assessment tools to determine the needs of the youth and the family. We provide case management services free of charge, anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And we make community-based organization referrals to connect the youth to the services that are needed.
Got it. All right. Is there another on this topic?
All righty, I apologize. I'm back again.
They gotta go to him.
Oh, it has to go.
Yeah, you had the time to speak.
All right. My name is Ronnie Britton. I am the executive board member of the Community Youth Against Violence. My address is 2315 Northwest 155th Street. The Community Youth Against Violence is a program that will give the opportunity for dysfunctional families to get functional and to give some principles, and there are some program dialogue that helps change some of those behavior patterns to positivity, and that we will hopefully save the lives of our young people. That's all I have to say at this time. I am the local pastor of the Allen Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church in North Miami.
Okay, all right.
I still have time. I'm asking because I'm very brief. Do I have-
Trust, just give us a minute. We're gonna come back. Let's continue with citizens forum. Citizens forum is still open. Give us a second.
Yeah.
You gotta give it a.
I'm gonna help her.
I'm gonna translate for them.
Hi, hello, my name is Ania Cruz. I'm 1300 Dunat Avenue owner.
Speak good English.
Okay, I have a complaint about the code enforcement. It's my second time in the city of Opa-locka for about the Mr. Cook. So I received for second time a fine. No fine. I received a letter for a code. So I have to pay $100 for second time for a similar issue. So I filed a complaint 2 years ago on the enforcement department, and nothing happened because Mr. Cook is the same. I feel harassment and racist. I don't know, because this person I feel that he watch me every day. So como que me siento vigilada.
She says she feels like she's being watched.
So the 2 years ago, he said to the tenant, the house is for rent. The tenant, the 2 years ago, he said that person, I watching you around 9:30 p.m. I don't know what happened, but I feel concerned about the code enforcement not saying never a warning, fine, but they are saying the letter for the court. When do you not have any option only to pay the fine? I think that $800 is a lot of money for the parking issue. I think is it
$100?
$800? $886.
Well, let her finish. Go ahead.
She's the tenant. She's the proof that what you say.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess she's gonna come and speak. ¿Cuál es tu nombre y dirección?
The car the same night, and she had to pay $800.
Or she's
Okay.
trying
2
to
weeks
say that
ago.
we moved that.
Yeah, I
the same night that he telling.
Go ahead.
El nombre y dirección.
Mi nombre es Eileen Bermúdez
Aileen Bermúdez,
y la dirección 1300 Dunant Avenue.
1300 Dunat Avenue. She says she has all the proof here of what she's paid. She said that, basically
La yarda.
the yard, she says the contract, the yard where she moved the car the same night, and she has the proof here, the receipts that she paid for it, but she removed the car that same night.
The city never sent me the warning. He take the picture. That's it. He never give me a paper, pink paper, the warning, and he never give me the fine. So he say, I don't know what happened. I send. He never sent me
Got it.
because it's the second time I'm the same.
Understand.
Él me dijo incluso cuando que lo quitara, so yo lo
He's-
quité el mismo día.
He said the same that when he went, told her to move the car, she moved it. He says, I know that the owner lives there.
Got it.
No está súper inapropiado.
It says the conduct is very inappropriate.
Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Citizens Forum is still open?
Jesus Lopez, 8350 Southwest 98th Street. I'm the property owner for 13205 Cairo Lane. I've been around Opa-locka for the last probably 25 years plus. And at this moment, after what happened with the fire, we have lost everything. And we want the city, we will ask the city to find a way to help us. It's been 25 years plus contributing to the city. I think it's the opportunity for the city to find some way to help us. It's not just me, it's 8 to 9 businesses. And unfortunately, we were not the persons that created that. It just happened, but we were the last ones and we got caught, and we got caught very deep. Very, very deep. Completely lost. And I would like you guys to go over and look. It is hard. It is hard to work for such a long time and lose it all.
Got it.
And thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Citizens Forum is still open?
My name is Isela Gutierrez. My address is 64 East 65th Street, Hialeah, Florida. I'm the owner of Gary Hughes Auto Park, 13175 Carroll Lane. I've been in this city since I was 17 years old. I'm 51. Not just me, my husband. We're not the landlord owner. We're not. But we are the owner of Gary Hughes Auto Park. We've been raising our kids from that junker, from that place. And we pay, not even us, everyone on here, we pay taxes. And it's not just about taxes. It's about families, because it's not only the owners of those business, it's people that work for us legally, people who pay check by check. And as you know, there's a lot illegal people too. I know this is not our country, but I came here when I was 15 years old. And this is my country. And I gotta pay, and I gotta do, and I gotta follow instruction. And it's hard. It's hard to be on our shoes. We are the only one. Our building is on the floor, completely on the floor. He already been passing by. We came here 2 weeks ago. We spoke with her, even with him. And I know God exists. And as you open this meeting over here with a pray, it's because God exists, right? It's because God is with us in every way. And I would like if you guys can do something for us. We've been there more than 30 years. It's not just about landlord owners. It's about people that they've been putting effort in every way. Okay, my kids are big. Our kids over here are big. And everything has been coming from that. It's not because it's a junker or it's a trash place. No, it's not a trash place. It's a place the people depend on that. Everything is in ashes. And I know that God exists. And soon we're going to be erased. Soon. But we need your help because we cannot do it by ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
We're cleaning. You got to see us. We look like a dumb people, like a trash people all over every single day. We go every day because we depend on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, I would like to see if you guys can help us.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Citizens forum. Citizens forum is still open.
Good evening, mayors, commissioners, Audrey Dominguez, 1147 Jan Avenue. I wanted to thank the city manager and staff for putting up the 100th centennial flags all over the city. I've gotten calls from people passing by saying how nice it looks, and they're seeing a change in the city. The only thing I would suggest is that sign, when you see it online, it looks this small. So you guys have a big one downstairs. Maybe you should swap it because I swear to you, it looks this small. I can barely see the lettering. So maybe, and it's not gonna cost anything, just someone move it. That way everybody can see how huge our sign is. Okay? I wanted to talk on Friday. I went to the first block party at the Triangle, 17th Avenue in Alibaba. I wanted to thank Commissioner Santiago. The residents loved it. It was the first time being done there. I had a resident that came from Miami Gardens. She said that it was really nice. She just wanted, if there was gonna be any bounce houses, I spoke to Commissioner Santiago. He says that in the future, definitely gonna do that. Sunday, I went to the chess and dominoes event. I truly enjoyed myself. And I really didn't want to leave because I was winning. I was beating up the guys. So I really didn't want to leave. So I just wanted to thank Commissioner Bass, Commissioner Santiago. It was a great event. We just have to call a neighbor and say, hey, come on down. This is a great event. And plus it was nice and cool. Really nice event. So I wanted to thank you guys for it.
Thank you, Commissioner Dominguez. Citizens forum is still open.
Hi, good evening. My name is Yudelki Abreu. I'm sorry. I'm one of the property owners that lost on Opa-locka.
What's the address?
13205 Carol Lane.
Yeah.
This is very hard for us. We dedicate 23 years to this business, and 1 second is gone in a second. We depend everything in that place. Our life is there. What she said is minimal, painful for us right now. We're going through the worst. Okay, when I got a call, it was the fire star. It was one of the co-work, one of the business. So we never expect our business gonna be hurt the way it was. So it was 4 business before us. And we just rent there. We just pay the rent and we depend on that. And we need help from you guys.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Citizens forum is still open. Citizens forum is closed. All right, so
Mr. Mayor.
citizens forum is closed. So, Mr. Cooper will be hearing the Cuyahoga project shortly. It's one of the ordinances that we're gonna talk about. Also I didn't catch her name, but Madam Manager, can you have someone speak to the resident with the issue with doing, oh, you got it already? Okay, perfect. And, Commissioner Dominguez, thank you for noticing, and I agree with the sign, and I'm gonna try to convince Madam Manager to switch it. And then as it relates to the businesses of Cairo Lane, we are with you. So what we're gonna try to do, we was gonna do a workshop. And before the end of the night, Madam Clerk will do a poll of the commission to set that date for that workshop to discuss a path forward. And I know that Commissioner Santiago is also working on legislation to help assist in this matter, which I'm sure you're gonna bring back next commission meeting.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, but last word for this, let me tell you this. I know what is these people passing through. And the only thing that I want to know, you're not alone. You have somebody they're going to fight for that. And I'm going to try to bring that resolution as soon as I can.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, this part, it came up at the last meeting, which was the curfew. And I asked the question, what was the holdup for it? And I believe, Madam Attorney, you said that there was something about the manager, well, it was Assistant City Attorney was here.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, this is an item that you all actually passed last year. It was approving a three-party memorandum of understanding between the City of Opa-locka, Miami-Dade County, and Community Youth Against Violence, Inc., pertaining to the Miami-Dade County's juvenile curfew ordinance. So in preparation for doing this three-part memorandum, we had conversations with the county. We had conversations with one of the gentlemen who appeared here. We reviewed, and I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Pastor Johnson told me that nobody in the county, no other city attorneys, no other city would do this. He was very happy about this going forward, and I was comfortable with it because it included the county, because it is involving the county's ordinance. And I don't know if it was the young lady who spoke here earlier today, but I even had a conversation with her before preparing this tri-party agreement. So we bring this item to the City Commission. It is a tri-party agreement. It passes. We have essentially done what we agreed to do, which was pass this, which included Miami-Dade County. Again, I was comfortable because it included. And one of the things that I believe to be the case, and the reason why the county is no longer interested in signing on to the agreement, is because there are liability issues that they may have in connection with this, or concerns, and their city attorney's office has apparently advised against it. I don't know the reasons why other cities have not engaged with them on this issue as Opa-locka had. I suspect it probably has to do with liability issues. Now, where we are right now is this has passed. The City Commission has done nothing wrong. I have done nothing wrong. There is no issue that the city has done where we are doing anything to be opposite, in opposition to what you have passed, based on our understanding that this was going to be a three-party agreement. Mr. Johnson called me, and I have been I've answered some of his calls, and what I told him was that this needs to come back through the manager. It is not something that I can just make a change to and then send it to the county, and because this has been approved by the commission. So if the manager is making a recommendation that this needs to change, then he needs to talk with the manager's office and take it back through that process so that it bubbles up to me, to our office to review, and then it comes to you. That has not happened, to the best of my understanding. When that happens, we'll take another look at it. We're happy to make a recommendation, but I would tell you the reason why I personally felt comfortable with it was because it included the county, because it is involving the county's curfew ordinance. And so that is probably the reason why they have had a difficult time getting any other city to sign on to this. That is my opinion. Now, it could be incorrect. That is my opinion. So I'm telling you all, this is where we are. You've signed it. You've done what you've done. Nobody's done anything wrong. So when the gentlemen are coming here, and they're very respectful, but when they're coming here and they're saying, we want to know what's going on is the county hasn't signed it. The county is now backing out of it. The county said they were going to be at the table on this. They're not going to be at the table on it, at least in the agreement. And that's where we are now.
Okay, you briefly stated that if the manager is going to bring something, it will bubble up to you. What does that mean?
Meaning, if this is not something I'm going to act on.
What is, are you saying change that we're gonna
Yeah,
change
if there's a change that's going to be made, the manager will talk with them, and she will make a recommendation. She's going to stand behind this. She will then put it as her item, or one of you might do it as a commission item that you will then sponsor, and the manager.
What would be the change?
The change will be the county is not interested in being involved anymore. It was a three-party agreement. The county is not going to be at the table anymore as a party to the agreement. That's the change.
Okay.
The way it was passed is how we discussed it. It's how me, the pastor, somebody from the county on the phone, I had a couple of conversations about it, went through, the item was fine, it passed. So there is nothing that the city has done that is inconsistent with, the only thing that's different is the county saying we are no longer interested in being a part of your agreement. That's the
Okay.
change.
Normally when I'm-
Based on their
I
ordinance.
want to take a point of privilege. Pastor, what's the, we,
Saying in terms of other municipalities.
One
wants to
second.
be a part of it as
That's
well.
what you told me.
No, madam, we're not gonna do that.
You misunderstood what I said. I said that we wanted to bring Opa-locka in, and I had a particular reason why I want Opa-locka to be first to come in. That's me and you talk about that. But my main thing is that all it is that the county is saying that they just don't want the liability that you may create on that end. But all you have to do, we have an agreement with Opa-locka, my organization, and your and Opa-locka. We have an agreement. What the county is saying, they have procedure. All you doing is following the procedure because it's been going on for months. We're just trying to lock the cities in. So we're not saying that if we got other cities that want to come in. I was trying to get Opa-locka in there first. They've been trying to get the news conference. We've been trying to bring it in. So we're trying to tie this thing in.
Sir, through the mayor, you told me that no other cities would sign on to this.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Absolutely said
Pastor,
that.
Madam Attorney, this is not that type of, thank you. We just wanted
misunderstood
the
what I
clarity.
said.
So what we're gonna
We
do.
do have other organizations that's
Pastor
coming in.
Thomas, Pastor Johnson, I'm sorry. We'll set up a meeting between myself, your organization, the manager, and we'll loop the attorney in, and then we prepare a path forward. And if there's something to come up, we'll bring it Madam Manager, we'll bring it at the next commission meeting.
Thank you.
All right, but we'll do it.
Can I
and
ask
then-
one question? When can we meet? When can we meet? Can we see?
I will-
Because it's been very.
We will, my office will reach out to you tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'll give you one better than that. My executive secretary, right there, Ms. M, take Pastor Johnson's number and we will reach out to you with to schedule that meeting. That's no problem. All right, we're moving right along. We have a pretty lengthy day. All right, so let's move on to item number 13-1.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, authorizing the city manager to issue a request for proposals, RFP, for a pool of contractors for citywide towing services, providing for incorporation recitals, providing for scrivener's errors, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
All right, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago,
Second.
second by Commissioner Irvin. Madam Manager, this is your item. You can go ahead and present it, and then I'll yield to Commissioner Santiago.
The city's current agreement for citywide towing services is set to expire on July 16, 2026. To ensure there is no lapse in service, the city is seeking qualifications from licensed and experienced towing firms to enter into an agreement for citywide towing services. Due to high demand for services, historical practice, and the most recent experiences with a single tow contractor, it is my intent for us to award a contract to multiple selected contractors for the towing services. So there's no long wait times.
Got it. Commissioner Santiago, you asked for the item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a question for the sponsor, that is the manager for the Great City of Opa-locka. When I be reading, the option, that you're gonna propose is to have in the rotation, that's what we call him, three companies. Three companies. I don't know how many companies we have now. I think it's only one.
Yes, only
Yeah,
one.
and that's oh, no, I think that you talked to me. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. What I see, one company not enough sometimes, to cover up, like whatever incidents or something that we have. And I can see, a lot of, things happening in the last one year. And my recommendation for this in the future is at least we can get, two companies for the rotation. And the third company, the whoever you decide to contract, it can be like if that two company not respond, we have that backup out there. But I believe when two companies enough for the area that the city have, two companies. Do you understand?
No, I do understand.
Okay.
I
That,
understand.
that's the only change that I like to see, that we're not choosing three companies for the rotation. Yeah, because probably it's gonna be a lot of problem for them to deal with that. But two company, I think is good.
All right, Madam Manager.
Yes.
You good? Okay. I would say this, I'm happy with the legislation that you brought, because I do remember all of the commission had an issue when it was brought, because it was a single sole provider. And none of us, historically, we've always had multiple, and I believe it's always been three.
Yes.
And it worked well with Opa-locka, but now the wait time is extremely long. We all get the complaints. So, hey, I'm for it the way it is. And I think I'm happy that you brought it now, because this is supposed to be brought back 6 months after we passed it the first time. It was supposed to be a trial run. And this is what, almost 2 years?
Yes.
Almost 2 years later. All right. Any other questions or concerns to the manager on this item? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the question.
Commissioner Irvin,
We're voting on the three, correct?
Yes, the way it is today.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago,
But we don't have no choice. We need a contract. Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to item number 13.2.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, authorizing the city manager to reject a proposal submitted pursuant to request for qualifications RFQ 2026 PDN-001 for printing and distribution of a quarterly community newspaper. Further authorizing the city manager to engage community newspaper services for an amount not to exceed $25,000 in a contract form acceptable to the city attorney, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for scrivener's errors, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
All right, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Dr. Bass.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urban. Madam Manager, I'll let you go ahead and present, and I'll yield to Commissioner Vice Mayor Kelly, who had an amendment, I believe. That's what he said.
The city issued an RFQ soliciting quotes from a qualified firm to be tasked with the printing and distribution of the city's community newspaper. We only received one proposal back, and due to the low response, I am requesting that we reject the proposal and I be allowed to seek these services under my spending authority of $25,000.
Got it. Vice Mayor Kelly?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have a problem with the item, but I want to add an amendment because since we're not going under the original concept of having a company and we're allowing the manager to do it, I want to amend it that it comes back after the first year instead of that 1 year renewal that the manager could just do, that it will come back to the commission for ratification. And that's the amendment I'd ask the attorney to prepare in my briefing. And again, it's not based on whoever's in the seat, it's based on policy and principle, because we need to make sure if the commission, for example, at that point wants to do something else or add something, the way it's written, it just would automatically be to the manager for an optional 1 year. I think because this is something new, and I know our ultimate goal is to actually get a company to do this, but because the manager said we couldn't get anyone, I like that amendment that it would just come back to the commission after the initial year for ratification rather than automatic possible renewal. An attorney, Mr. Mayor, I think I asked for some language for it, if she could read it as a part of the amendment.
All right, Madam Manager, you good with the amendment?
The attorney needs to read it first.
Okay, and so
can
this
hear
is the motion. Making a motion?
Right.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
So this,
Oh,
He has he still have-
that is good.
No, he has a motion on the floor. And I hear you. One
So, I want to understand what kind of amendment, is we're gonna do with this.
She's gonna read it right now.
Okay. Yeah, before, yeah.
She's
before
gonna read
anything.
it right now.
so this language would be added to the end of the fourth whereas clause, and it would be regarding the renewal, provided, however, that any such renewal shall be exercised only upon prior approval of the city commission.
So, in other words, it doesn't automatic renew. It has to come before the commission after 1 year. All right. All right, so any other discussion before we make,
Yes.
that's my read the motion. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And the reason that I get involved in the discussion is because this is something to do with the community newspaper that I sponsored that a year and a half ago. And a year and a half ago, the state, they honored a budget for that particular item for the community, not for the benefits or any other things for any event or anything, for a community benefits. A community benefits. And I know what we try to do is to try to avoiding, that's what we're reading here, whatever bit that they do, they not agree with the thing that you're asking for the newspaper. But this is regarded about the newspaper, the community newspaper.
Yes, that's the item for the community newspaper. But if I may,
Yes,
the way it's worded now, it allows me to enter into an agreement with a company that's selected for 1 year with an automatic additional 1 year renewal. Vice Mayor Kelly is asking for an amendment that after the first year, it has to come back to the city commission before it automatically renews.
perfect. I don't have any thing against that. But what I try to do, what I try to say is, this is June. This is June, and we only have left July, August, and September to make something to try everybody together, not only one person, to communicating to the public and to the residents whatever we do here in the great city of Opa-locka, what we're doing, with the taxpayer money and everything that we need to inform the people. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor?
I move the amendment. After you get a second, I'll explain it further if need be. But I move the amendment on the item that the attorney read. I know you've already got a discussion, but
Dr. Bass seconded the item already. Well, Jeff now.
okay, just for clarification, the reason I wanted to come back, because after a year, we all want the newspaper, want to get the word out, want to communicate to all of our residents, but as the manager indicated, she only had one proposal that she deemed insufficient and didn't meet the criteria. So in order to move forward, we're at least trying to get someone to provide the service. This allows her to do that. The amendment just says after a year, instead of being automatic, it comes back to the commission because the dynamics may have changed. Might be some companies come along, or the commission may decide they want to do something else at that time. So that's the purpose of the amendment. It's on really policy and principle. I believe the manager will do the right thing or whatever, but to bring it back to commission, because we may decide at that point, we want to entertain that or continue to do something different, but that's the purpose of the amendment. And I thank for the second, and no other questions of me.
All right. So, go ahead and call the question for the amendment, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Santiago,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion on the amendment passes 5-0.
All right, if there is nothing else further, we can call the question for the actual item. You have something?
Yes, only a little comment. I like the words the vice mayor bring, to the public and for the data. Yes, it's true. We have to think we're not forever, and somebody can be in the place, whatever we are right now in the future, and we have to keep on going because the newspaper is for the community, not for anybody impersonal. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to item 13.3.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the city manager to conduct a citywide assessment of unsafe structures and further authorizing the city manager to submit the findings to the Miami-Dade County Unsafe Structures Board, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for Scrivener's errors, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Mayor Taylor.
All right, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Santiago.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Kelly. So simply put, we have a lot of unsafe structures around Opa-locka that vagrants are living in that's just falling apart, and we're not getting a lot of responses from the owners. So what I'm suggesting is that the manager does an assessment of all of these structures, and we know them, we get the complaints, we know where they are, and submit that to the county unsafe structure board so that we can get permission to tear these things down. That's the gist of it. So I'll yield to Commissioner Santiago because you pulled it, and then I'll entertain any questions.
Well, I did you say everything that I want to know because I'm a bit confused because my house is 101 years old.
It's not your house.
Oh, I know. Well, we had to be, around to see. They explaining to me too, like
It's
you're looking
dilapidated
for
building.
houses that they be closing for years.
Dilapidated.
And yeah, and they yeah, we have a lot of these houses in the other side of the triangle too. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm already done with that. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Urban?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, moving on to item 13.4.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the city manager to conduct and present a study and analysis regarding a 6-month pilot program for extended service hours for city services and operations, providing for reporting and recommendations, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for scrivener's errors, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Vice Mayor Kelly.
All right, can I get a move by Vice Mayor? Can I get a second on the line? Second by Commissioner Santiago. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the item state is to conduct and present the study and analysis, two things that I've been looking at over the last year or so have had residents and business owners talk about the need to be able to access city services. And many times because they're working or can't get home and get here to transact business, I thought it appropriate to allow the manager to do some analysis to bring back to us for an extended service hours for city services and operations. And I'm really doing that because that also considered, I think, Mr. Mayor, you had brought it up as well one time too, even about potentially having City Hall closed on Fridays. But I know that's a little more challenging. So I said, at least we can do this a couple of days, however the manager sees to do it, to allow for our residents and business owners that could be able to come and transact business, whether they got to go to building license or whether they got to do whatever regarding the city. And that would allow for our community to have access to city services. It is a pilot program. And of course, she will come back and report and recommend her findings to us. And then the commission can decide if it's something we want to pursue long-term, keep it as is, or just let it go away. But I've heard that many times from folks who work far away, can't get here, 5 o'clock hits, and at 5 o'clock we all gone in terms of services being able to be accessed. So that's the intent of the resolution. I'll address any questions anyone may have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Vice Mayor, I do have one question. That probably will lead to another question. I'm total in support. I always wanted to do the 4-day work week. So I'm assuming this is the this is public facing departments, right?
Pardon me?
Public facing departments.
Right.
All right. And then my next question is, so this is not extending or going into overtime. So one day I'm assuming we'll go to 7 o'clock and the other day we'll go to 3.
Well, that would be up to the manager how she wants to do it.
Okay.
That's why it's a pilot and a study, because I left the operational and how she would do it up to her. And then she would come back with the recommendation to us based on what she believes or feels it should be, but it's not designed for overtime. That's the answer to your question.
Okay.
Right.
So it's going to come back. That's right.
It's got to come back
It's
to the
gonna come back
commission.
before we initiate.
Right.
All right. And I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
You're the mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm the one pull out for question to my colleague, to the sponsor. When I have Monday my agenda brief, they explaining to me the idea that you bringing to us is to keep the city open up to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. I don't know if I make or maybe probably I don't understand what is the proposal of that, but make the city be open up to 7 p.m. every day. No, okay, that's good because I'm with the idea to make our city work only 4 days a week, like other cities, like Miami Garden. There is a city very organized and they have a lot of prosperity. They only have 4 days out there, okay, for service the community and service in any other department. That's except the police department and I think any emergency department that they have. Now, one of the biggest problems that we have here, I want to say it for the data, is this. Because I have so many complaints for a lot of business people here in the great city of Opa-locka and residents that they come to the first floor there to the ground to the building a license. Building a license. Let me start in from there to building a license. The schedule, I asking the manager, what is the schedule for the people? It's 8 to 5. No, Madam Manager? 8 to 5.
8 to 5, they're open to the public until 4:30.
4:30. But sometimes people come downstairs out there, and I have people that they told me now it's not me that I'm inventing. At 3:15, they don't want to take any more application. 3:15. No. We have rules and regulation for everybody here, like the way that they have rules and regulation for the elected official. They work in 8 to 5. 8 to 5. I don't think the adding more hours, for the day, that's not a good idea. But to make people, complete with the schedule that we have and take care of people out there, you're gonna see that you're not gonna have any complaint around for people that come out at 2 o'clock from the job, hurry to get a permit for painting the house or to do some kind of construction because they're gonna be taken care of out there. I believe Madam Manager is part of your staff, and we had to implement in that. The office close at 4:30 to receive any paperwork, but we close at 5. And I like the idea in the future to have the city open 4 days. That's gonna make us look good in front of the Florida State because we're gonna saving some money. We're gonna we're gonna let them know that we learn and that we know how to saving. Okay, with that kind of idea, but not to adding hours with no reasons. I supported it the way that they want to bring it for probably come back to us when a plan, and in that plan including only the 4-day work in the city, serving the community 4 days.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
there's so many thoughts going through my head right now, so I'm trying to choose my words wisely. But however, I'm gonna wait until I'll support it for tonight, but I'll wait to get the recommendation from the manager because we're talking about extending 1 day a week for home, what department, question marks. Then I'm hearing 4-day work week for home, question marks. So there's a lot of pieces of puzzle that has to be placed together in order for this to work. And I'm also concerned about the additional, we're saying it's not going to cost the city additional monies, but it might. And we have to also be considerate of our employees. How would this fit into their lives? When they came to Opa-locka, they came from 8 to 5. Now we're telling them a 4-day work week. It might work for them. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. That's all.
Okay.
But I
Mr.
would
Mayor-
wait until it comes around again.
Commissioner Bass, I think we're conflating the two. The 4-day work week is not what we're voting on tonight. What we're voting on is the extended hour that's gonna come back to the commission by recommendation of the manager. The 4-day work week is something that came up months ago. So, yeah, but I just don't want it, because it seems like it's, Vice Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for clarifying that. Again, it's for the manager to bring it back. The commission could decide based on what she recommends whether it's something we do or not. But as one individual, even though I may think it's okay for 1 day a week or 2 days a week, it's not for me to arbitrarily decide that. It's for the commission. And so the legislation just calls for the managers to do the study, the analysis, come back with a recommendation. And she may decide it's good for 1 day or 2 days, and we still may decide at that point we don't care for it. But arbitrarily, I can't just ask her to do it and put it in place. It has to come from legislation, and that's the intent of the resolution, to allow her to do that. That's
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor.
Wait, I'm sorry, Commissioner
Thank,
Irvin.
thank you. I'm a firm believer that people make time for things that's important to them. So for it to be a study, can we study it in 3 months and not 6?
Mr. Mayor, I only said 6 because the manager is so overwhelmed with a lot of things. And so I didn't want to pressure her in the time. If she thinks she can do it in 3, I have no problem. But with everything on her plate, I did not want to pressure her to feel come back that quick with a analysis. I don't have a problem with 3 months. I just said 6 because in speaking to her, she kind of suggested 6 months, but I won't speak for the manager. Mr. Mayor, if you could.
If I
Mr.
can,
Irvin's point.
the 6 months is to allow me to be able to do the necessary legwork to bring it back to the commission. Not to exceed 6 months for me to submit it to the commission.
Right. So in that 6-month time, we're going to make it active. No.
Yeah,
No.
because that's what,
No,
y'all
no.
just, yeah, so
Yeah.
this
So
is,
how are you going
the
to?
plan, once you implement it, will be a 6-month pilot program. So from now, if it passes tonight, how long would it take you to bring this back to the commission with the plan going forward?
So I was under the impression that I had the 6 months. So now I see that it's different.
I don't think that,
Yeah, I don't think
I don't
that.
think you have
Yeah.
6 months to come up with a plan.
Mr.
Okay.
Mayor.
Wait, let Vice Mayor respond to that.
Well, whether it's 3 months, I was just deferring to the manager to give her more time. If it's 3 months that you wanted to bring it back, that's up to whether she can do that in 3 months.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with the time. I was just thinking of her schedule, her staff, what all the other things that she has to do.
So the pilot program will run for 6 months. Is that it? And then I bring it back to the commission?
That's the clarity.
Okay.
That's what I need
That's
clarification of.
Okay, you know what I'll do? I will defer the item and let you kind of clarify what you feel the time frame and then bring it back. Sorry.
Vice Mayor, before you defer, but I'm gonna make a suggestion. Can you and the manager defer and then come back with a concrete plan? Like, we're gonna do it from this day, this day, this day, and y'all work on that and bring it back to the commission? And then at that time, we're gonna do it for 3 months, we're gonna do it for 6 months, but at least we'll have, because I think that's the confusion, like what it's gonna look like, who's here, who's not. But my suggestion is that y'all work on a plan, you and Vice Mayor, and present that to the commission. I think that would ease everybody's mind.
Mr.
If I may, if
Mayor.
If that's the ask, I
It's all-
cannot
it's all-
bring it back at the next meeting. I would need some more time.
No.
Well, I was saying that before the mayor made his statement. I don't have a problem with working with you to bring something back. I just didn't want to arbitrarily ask you to do it and bring it. So hearing my colleagues, I have no problem working with you. And then when you feel you've had enough time, we'll bring it back. So we'll just leave it as a uncertain date. I don't have a problem with that, but it's just something we to do because I don't want to mix the 4-day and all that because I know that's been discussed and may be something, but all of these ideas are with the intent of making it better for our residents and business owners. And of course, we understand the staffing component of it, regardless of what we do, because even if we go to 4 days, that means 10 hours the other days. So there's still an impact. But if that's the will of my colleagues, I will defer the item to an unknown date certain, work with the manager and come back with something concrete that my colleagues can look at and see if it's amenable for passing. So I'll defer the item, Mr. Mayor.
So item 4 has been deferred. The next item on the agenda that was pulled is item number 6.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the city manager.
Excuse me. Mr. Mayor, I decide to defer the item number 6.
Is there a date certain, Commissioner Santiago? Or you're gonna bring it back when you?
I gonna make a study and bring it back together with whatever we have in the package
Okay, so
for this situation out there.
No
But
date-
for now, I'd
no
like
date
to
certain.
defer it.
no date certain. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you.
All right, so we're moving on to our first reading ordinances. Public hearing. And I'm going to make an ask of my colleagues that we hear item number 3 first because they have to leave. And then the first 1 and 2 are the same. And we can discuss that at the time, if you all don't mind. We'll good with it? All right, thank you. So, Madam Attorney, item 16.3.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, renaming Rutland Street from Opa-locka Boulevard to Vermont Street as Progressive Firefighters Association Street, providing for a conflict and repealer, severability, Scrivener's errors, and for effective date. This is sponsored by the mayor.
All right, this is a public hearing item, but I entertain a motion at this moment. Moved by Commissioner Vice Mayor Kelly.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Santiago. This is my item. Simply put, the Progressive Firefighters Association is a charity that has been in the city of Opa-locka for over 40 years. It sits right here on Rutland Street. We've all been there. They've done a lot of great work in the city of Opa-locka, and I want to make sure that they get their just due. So I'm not asking to rename the entire street, but just the street that borders that runs parallel to the organization's building, which is between Opa-locka Boulevard and Vermont Street, that part of Rutland. So this is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open. If anybody want to talk on this item?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Keith Bell. I'm a division chief of Miami-Dade Fire Department. I'm also the assistant fire chief, 926 Rutland Street. Mayor, thank you. Vice Mayor Kelly, thank you. Commissioner Bass, Commissioner Irvin, Commissioner Santiago, City Manager Lawson, City Attorney Norris Weeks, City Clerk Flores, City Assistant Attorney Carl Valdez, Radin Ellis. I just want to say thank you all for the opportunity. The Progressive Firefighters Association Charities of Miami-Dade County was organized in 1978 due to the awareness of the increasing complexity of problems experienced in our communities. It was due to the barriers that affected our community, such as health concerns, fire prevention, and safety, socioeconomic issues, which caused 2 individuals by the name of Charles Phillips and David James. Charles Phillips was the first African-American fire chief for the Miami-Dade Fire Department. Those 2 got together and sued Miami-Dade County because they were discriminating on Blacks back in the early 70s. So again, we've been here in the city of Opa-locka since 1978. Our house is right there on 926 Rutland Street. I think that gives us 48 years here in Opa-locka. We've done a plethora of work in the community. And, you know, it is near and dear to my heart that these guys who paved the way for people like myself to become a firefighter on the fire department, I just want to give them their flowers, why some of them are still here and some of them have, you know, gone and left us. So again, thank you for the opportunity. Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Chief Bell.
Yes, sir.
Public hearing is still open. Public hearing is closed. At this moment, I entertain any questions.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Bass?
I am going to support this resolution for tonight. Well, not just for tonight, I'm going to support it. But what I would like to see, I don't have my glasses, so I didn't read this right here. The only fear I have is that when we rename our streets, we're changing our history in a way. So I don't know if going forward, we can put whatever name we want, but still leave our original name because we're wiping out our Arabian themes. All right. So that's all I would say, but I do support it and thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Santiago?
I think when you reading, you including that, like it's only gonna be a section of the road there. Yeah, with me, it's beautiful and wonderful, you know, to recognize the good job, you know, that they doing here for the community. And come on, we're ready to vote. Roll call.
Anyone else on this item? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Santiago?
Yes.
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 first
Thank you,
reading.
sir.
Thank you all for the opportunity.
All right, moving on to item number 16A1.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, considering the small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map for a 7.58 acre parcel located at 1700 Service Road and identified by folio 08-2122-005-2170, amending the land use designation for the property from low moderate density residential to a commercial land use designation, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
All right, can I get a motion? Move it. Moved by Vice Mayor Kelly. Can I get a second? Second by Dr. Vaz. This is a public hearing item. Madam Manager, I get you go ahead and present, and then we'll open up a public hearing.
The applicant 1700 Service Holdings LLC intends to construct two commercial use buildings with a showroom, storage area with office and a retail space. The request is to amend the land use from low moderate density residential to commercial land use. This item was deferred from the December 10th, 2025 regular commission meeting to allow the applicant a chance to meet with the community. It is being presented to the City Commission for consideration. Two public meetings were held. The first meeting held on January 13th, 2026, and the second meeting held on February 3rd, 2026.
All right, this is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open.
Good evening.
Turn
Hope
it-
Calhoun.
Can you, thank you.
Not an engineer. Thank you. I figured it out. Good evening, Hope Calhoun, Land Use Counsel for the applicant. We do have a brief presentation that I understand is available. And while that's coming up, I just want to say with me tonight is the property owner and our project engineer, who will also participate briefly in this presentation. We are super, super excited about being here tonight. This has been a long time coming. Everybody is aware of where this property is. We do have a total of 4 applications. I understand that currently you're considering 1 application, but I'm going to just kind of quickly go through the presentation.
Ms. Hope, give me 1 second. Let's do public hearing, and I know the manager's gonna allow you to do the presentation. So let's hear from the public, and then we'll do. Yeah, I know you all have I was told to, but you have a presentation. So public hearing is open on this item.
How are you? Mark Cooper, 6801 Southwest 75 Terrace. The crux of their argument is going to be, or has been, that the property is so contaminated that you cannot build residential, that it doesn't meet the threshold for residential. And so the only use is industrial commercial. That's the crux of the argument. The last time we were here with the previous owner in this application, it was about 2 years ago. So if you go to the Durham Public Records page, which is number 5 here, Durham has a schedule for them to be issuing quarterly monitoring reports on the property to see how the contamination's coming. This is page 5. The last report that was issued was about 18 months ago. Durham sent out a letter saying some of the wells haven't been tested since 2021. You have 90 days to submit the next report. That's page 8. This is the official correspondence from Durham. We don't have to speculate what's going on at the property. The attorney said she's not an engineer. There's environmental people that are set out to do this. They check the land, they check to see what type of contamination is spreading out into the neighborhood. The testing is not being done. Insofar as their argument, now they come with the lack of information and say, what we need is you to change the zoning to get rid of the possibility of 800 residents living there, 1,900,000 in taxable revenue to the state and to the county, to the city, and they haven't done the testing. They don't come with clean hands. They don't come with an honest argument. All they're doing right now is saying, it's in our benefit right now to put a warehouse. You guys don't know if you can put homes or not, but we need a warehouse. The applicant owns a warehouse in Aventura on West Dixie Highway that's being built all around it by apartment buildings. That's the last page of my presentation. This is what's going on in Aventura. And so what those folks are getting is residents and apartments and people using city services. And what we're getting is warehouses, and that's not right. Thank you.
Public input.
Okay, I'll wait.
Public hearing is still open.
Audrey Dominguez, 1147 Jan Avenue. I am a board member of the Planning and Zoning. This item was brought to us for the property located in 1700 Service Road for 2 commercial industrial mixed use. The property land use was residential, although it passed 3-1, I voted against it. The property was intended for residential. I feel that if the developer comes back with a residential project and remove whatever contamination, if there's any, I will support it. I'll be the first one to support it. This is why I voted against it. And residents don't want no more warehouses. They spoke and they don't want no warehouses. So we need to respect what the residents want. The development, what they brought was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it's not what it was intended for. So please don't. And after I saw what I got today from Mr. Cooper, yeah, we can definitely put apartments there.
All right, public hearing is still open.
Kevin Scott, 8441 Northwest 25th Avenue. I stand in opposition to this proposed industrial commercial because simply the wording industrial commercial allows this company to expand on the original plans. And this is a residential area. This area was meant for residential impact. We haven't seen the impact statement on the traffic or impact statement on on the things that will affect the neighborhood. This is residential. I understand that they're beautiful plan, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But we haven't gotten the impact statement from Durham. They're coming in without incomplete information. You can't possibly come to the conclusion that this is the way it needs to be done. We need to have more information. If they come back with a residential plan, all game for planning to say it, no. So this is almost a no-brainer. You know, it's a residential area. How are you gonna put this commercial establishment in the middle of the residential area? We have warehouses on the other side. We have a commercial area designated on this side of Opa-locka. So we can't start intruding on our residents. That's not fair. It's not fair and it's not right. The residents said they don't want it there, so it shouldn't be there. That bottom line. They don't want it there, so don't put it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open.
Brian Dennis, address 2140 York Street. I received a bunch of the documents. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I received a lot of the documents that I requested and asked for from Mr. Gay Community Development. What I am surprised to hear is what Mr. Cooper just presented. I am more so in shock by it. And even though what was presented, I think, I don't know if I spoke at planning and zoning, it might have been the gas station park where when Commissioner Johnson was alive. This is like, it's weird. It's real weird. Because if something was designated for residential and that's what should be put there, then I think that should what's going on. It's just as simple as that. One of the reasons why I asked for all the documentation is to see there's a traffic study, everything is there. And I've even spoken with this group outside. So my word was to that company that if I got all the documentation and read everything and it was what was being presented to the public, I would support the item. Well, apparently that's not what's taking place right now. Because I ride in Aventura and I know what's in Aventura. And if that's not, if State Road 9 in Cuyahoga is not going to look like State Road, Biscayne Boulevard in Aventura, then there's no way I can support that item. Regardless of the information that I have and anything like that, I feel like a lawyer being caught off guard with a client that hasn't received everything.
All right, public hearing is still open. Public hearing is closed. All right, so we'll yield to the applicant to go ahead and briefly present. Madam Manager? We heard from her already. We heard from her.
She was brief. I'm gonna try to be brief also. Thank you. You can try again. Thank you. Again, Hope Calhoun, Land Use Council for the applicant. So everyone is aware of where this project is, excuse me, where the property is located on State Road 9. Can we just go to the next slide, please? This is not working for me. Thank you. So all of the requests that ultimately will come before the commission for a vote, assuming we get through first reading of the land use plan amendment and the rezoning, because that's what's before you tonight for a vote on the ordinance. It's a small scale land use plan amendment change from residential, not to industrial, but to commercial. The prior owner did submit an application, actually, yeah, the prior owner, and this applicant actually, through the prior owner, submitted an application to land use change to industrial. But we met with the residents, we understood what the residents wanted, which they told us was commercial. So we modified the application and we're here tonight to request a change of the land use from residential to commercial, not industrial. We are not proposing warehouses. The companion to that land use plan amendment is a rezoning request to change from residential to commercial, not to industrial, to support the uses that the community told us that they wanted to see. Again, if we can get through first reading tonight, which is always my plea, if we can get through first, we can always work through any issues that might be outstanding. But if we get to second reading, then you will see more information about the site plan and the development agreement. Just to say again, we're not presenting a warehouse. Staff is recommending approval of our applications. It's stated as such in your backup. And a traffic statement you did hear was presented. All of the information that the community has asked for has been presented, prepared, and submitted to city staff. This property has been vacant for a very long time. But one of the things that has been, I think, a topic of much discussion on this property is the environmental issues and the contamination that may or may not remain after development of the property, whether it changes from commercial to residential or remains as residential. The question is always how much remediation is going to take place on the site. What is the developer going to fix? They're only asking to go to commercial because it's easier. They don't have to do as much cleanup. So as I stated before, I'm not an engineer, but I'm going to yield a few minutes of my time to our engineer who is going to introduce himself to you, tell you his qualifications, and really explain to you much better than I can the remediation that's going to happen, whether it remains residential or is developed as commercial, because I think that's very important as you make the decision.
Hi, good evening. I'm James Miller. I am a civil engineer and I've been practicing in Miami-Dade County for over 30 years, remediating sites such as these. I've worked on this property for over 8 years.
Can you state your address for the record, please?
Sure. 10406 Southwest 186 Terrace. So this property, when it was introduced to us, sat vacant for a number of years with piles of contamination that look similar to this. This is a former lake site and it's been filled and it's been dumped on for a number of years. We met with ownership at the time of approximately 8 years ago, and we sat with the county. We entered into a consent agreement to address the violations of the contamination that were on the property. As part of those remediation efforts, these piles, which they were numerous, have been addressed. The solid waste present in the photographs have completely been removed. The site was open to the public without fencing. That fencing has been installed, so there's protection of the remaining surface soil because there's contamination from surface below grade. So we have subsurface contamination at the site. The above ground stockpiles have been addressed. the solid waste was screened and the materials, the fine materials remain on site and they'll be used as part of the development. The agreement that we have with the county is that the remediation will be encapsulation, which is a state-approved remediation method. It basically limits access to the contamination to the public. Right now, the site is completely exposed to the public, with the exception of the fence that is intended to keep people off the property. Periodically, we do have issues with the fence being opened and individuals on the property, whether it's dumping or just loitering on the property. So the county is asking us, which was mentioned earlier, is we're doing what they're calling interim monitoring. So it's not a monitoring event to get to closure. It's just monitoring to allow the county to watch the contamination because they know the remediation is going to take some time because we're trying to get a development plan approved. The development will be the remediation efforts. So once the site is paved, we'll have something like this that you see here. We'll have contamination under, for example, this flooring material, which will eliminate access and exposure to the public. So that is an approved remediation method in the state of Florida and in other states. Florida's adopted that and it's extremely effective. So if somebody does enter the property, we have protection. The remediation can't start until the plans are approved. So we have been working with the current ownership to allow the development to provide the remediation. So there's residential potentials and there's commercial potentials. Either type of development will be the same exact remediation. The paved areas provide cover. The green areas provide what the state-approved engineering control for green, which landscaped areas would be 2 feet of clean fill. If we have residential out there, we'll have 2 feet of clean fill. If we have commercial out there, we'll have 2 feet of clean fill based on the levels of contamination. So there won't be any difference from my standpoint on the remediation. What we would see is if we had a residential property compared to a commercial property is you have a lot more green space on residential. So you would basically have more exposure to contamination with residential use. Because if you have some type of residential property out there, you're going to have more green areas. Whether they're townhomes or apartments, you're going to have areas to play, you're going to have front yards, you're going to have backyards. Those green areas can only be covered with 2 feet of clean fill on a residential property. On a commercial property, it's the same thing. However, the green area is so much more limited because the zoning requirements don't require as much green area on a commercial property. So it wouldn't make a difference to me, but you would actually see the majority of the property paved, whether it's asphalt or concrete, as compared to a residential property.
Thank you. Madam Manager?
Let me just touch one thing. So it was mentioned that there's a Durham letter that identifies the last sampling effort being back in 2024. We have, for some reason, this is a page from the county, but it's not bringing up some reports that we have after this. So we are doing the interim monitoring.
Okay, thank you. So I do have a question, Madam Manager, to you and Mr. Gay and to the applicant if they would like to answer. Something that he said that residential and commercial have the same level of remediation. I do remember when this came before us, we was told that it would cost millions of dollars and more to keep it residential versus making it commercial. But if we're hearing now that you can make it residential and it has the same level of remediation, which you said, you said 2 feet. That was what you said. Then why can't it be residential? And I believe residents came up and asked why couldn't it be mixed use, which is what it was supposed to be initially, retail at the bottom and residential at the top. And we was told that that can't happen because it's going to cost double. No, it wasn't, the word wasn't double. It was a couple more millions
They-
to remediate the site. So now you're going a different path. I'm a little confused because now you said residential or commercial has the same level of remediation. So can someone clarify that?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Mayor. I'm Nathan Cohen. I'm the property owner and the applicant here. Address, business address 3050 Biscayne Boulevard, Miami, Florida 33137. So I appreciate the question. I want to stress out that it's important to understand we did not come here and really shift from the residential potential of this site to first industrial and then commercial. We came with the idea that we are not residential developers, so we were interested in this site for originally having a store and storage behind. And so we were advised to do an industrial development as probably the highest and best use. That was the advice that we got at the time. Then we had, and we
Who
were
advised that?
Brokers and people saying, you know, for the highest and best use of the
So
site.
outside entity.
Outside.
Outside.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's what we went for, just to have our retail store and have a development that completely encompasses the site. After doing that, we were denied, and we heard the community loud and clear that they didn't want industrial. And as it happens, I am not an industrial developer. The only property that I own that is an industrial through a company is the one in Aventura that the gentleman was mentioning. We did not develop it. However, my lane is really retail. And we held, so I was after the denial, I was about to give up because obviously it seemed like there was opposition in the city. And I was advised to hold a community meeting with the community and the residents. We did that. We did that once. And after the fact, we did that a second time and a third time. But in the first one and along the other times as well, what I heard in those meetings was that residents were actually not interested in residential, but what I heard. The residents, at least that were there in those meetings, I heard a lot of questions. They said, and comments, for example, they said, Modani, the furniture store, should not be in the front, it should be in the back. We have no interest for, you know, furniture store to be so prominent, and I respect that and I have no issue with it, and we flipped it to the back. The other comments were mostly about the contamination, and I'm going to answer your question, but also about the fact that residents wanted retail stores. A lot of them voiced the fact that they wanted to have a Starbucks, recreational activity for their kids, ways to activate the site for the residents and for the community. And when I heard that, it was my sign from God that, you know, I was here. It was in my lane. I thought that I would hear, we want residential. And then I would have backed out because I'm not a residential developer and I cannot do a residential development. But what I can do is a retail development. So when I heard this feedback that was loud and clear, and I hope this meeting was recorded, and we had subsequent meetings, community meetings, including one that Mr. Mayor, you recommended. So we held it after your recommendation last time. We held a second one after that, and even the third one after that, because we thought there were not enough people and maybe we didn't notify enough people in the area. So we expanded the cards that we send out so people could come and hear our plan. So we try to be very transparent, and we heard all the comments. And all the comments were always, no, we're not necessarily looking for residential. Actually, we're looking for retail. And so we switched that whole plan. And it gave me back the faith that I should be here today saying, okay, let's change the plans around. People don't want industrial. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the highest and best use for this, but that's not my goal. I'm a retail guy. It's in my lane. So let me do what they want. It's actually my mission here. I can help this community. I can help myself by having my store, and I can respond to what they want. And I'm probably, and I thought so in my whole humility that I can have, that I was the best candidate to do that. Because when I heard people saying, look, we want retail, we want the activation, you could put it in the front. That's exactly what we did. We put Modani in the back. We changed the zoning from industrial to commercial. Industrial is not allowed, only commercial. And so we're bringing what the resident wanted. And so to your question about did we ever say that the costs were millions of dollars for residential versus industrial? Yes, it was an argument that was advanced during some of our hearings. And this was referring mostly to the experience that the prior owner had when they went and shopped for developers for this site. And they went to retailers, they went to residential developers, including Related Group and the biggest ones. And a lot of them had this feedback that the contamination was an issue. Number one, for the millions of dollars that it required for cleaning. Number two, for the potential liability and the way that people perceive this as a residential area. So now when we're coming to you and saying that the level of remediation will be the same in the green areas because they mandate for us to do that 2 foot of on clean fill of clean fill, it's exactly what's going to happen. It's the same level of remediation, except, and that's where the millions of dollars of difference maybe show up, is that a commercial development only has maybe 10% or less of its area that's going to be green and exposed to people. So this will be the comparing to the residential development where you have potentially 50% of the whole site that is supposed to be green areas, that this is where the difference in cost should come. I'm not an expert in residential, but I just want to give you the context as to why that argument was advanced, why there is a difference between commercial and residential, and that it pertained to the different trials of the prior owners who were trying to go everywhere in every direction, industrial, residential, retail, to see who could develop that site, and unfortunately could never find somebody besides us to, take a leap of faith and purchase this lot, understanding that the community wants retail and that it's in our lane and we could provide that. And so in doing so, we'll be able to remediate. Our banks that will, sponsor us in developing this development are all, and we're aligned with DERM, and we've studied, with DERM as well when it needs to be done. The remediation, as Jim mentioned, is the development, because we will be looking to get what we call a no further action, meaning that once we develop this, and retail development takes a much shorter time to develop than residential. So in about 2 years, if God willing, we get accepted, then you will have a site that is getting an NFA, meaning that it is safe for people to visit and safe for people to be around, versus not doing anything, or versus potentially looking for a developer, which can be me, for a residential in the future. And that might take a lot of time, that might come to the same conclusion, it's very costly, or that the stigma of this contamination might affect the perception from future residents. So I do believe that, there is a clean argument, in my opinion, to say that, yes, we're developing retail per the residents. We changed this around per the residents. I came back here because the residents said we wanted retail and not residential.
Okay, so thank you for the clarity on the question, but I will say this, and I want to first off say by saying thank you for being willing to invest in Opa-locka. However, I'm gonna take my hat from Vice Mayor real quick, because this is something to say. The wording bothers me. You all saying that it's not industrial, but in the legislation, it says construction of 2 commercial industrial mixed-use buildings on this property. That's in both pieces of legislation. You also said it's not a warehouse, but it's a mixed-use building. Mixed-use building. One was the showroom, and the other one was the distribution center, which is a warehouse. Now, and that's what was always. Then you said that the residents, one second, did not want residential, they wanted retail. But the retail that the residents asked for, which is what was presented prior to you, previous owners, somebody said a movie theater, somebody said a coffee shop, somebody said a splash pad, somebody said an extension of Ingram Park with townhomes on Wilmington, somebody said, I think, a bowling alley or something like that. That's what was sold to the residents, not a furniture store. The retail and restaurants, The retail that they asked for was not a furniture store. They wanted to develop the site because that was the carrot that was dangled in the eyes of our residents. And yes, it might not be you, and you just got here, so my issue
No,
is not
this
with
would
you.
be me. This
No,
would be me.
you wasn't the one at the time. It was before.
Okay.
Because you're also not the first lobbyist to come here to present this project to Opa-locka, because it's been here before. And every single time it comes, oh, we're gonna do retail, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do shops, we're gonna do this. And the residents have simply asked for the plan. We want the bells and whistles in Opa-locka. They do it in other areas. And when you talk about contamination to sites and residential, I compare Cuyahoga to Dania Point, which was the same level of contamination, but they built something that the residents could be proud of. It has hotels, it has apartments, it has condos, it has a bowling alley, it has restaurants, it has my favorite store, the Nike outlet. But that's what Opa-locka has been asking for.
Exactly.
But you all, and they even to the point that a resident, which I thought was disrespectful, but she said it, we don't want no furniture store here. Take your furniture store back to Aventura. The notion that you're saying that this is what the residents wanted, I think you got it
Okay, Mr. Mayor,
confused.
I appreciate this. So maybe there's a confusion, but if you look at our site plan, there's two buildings. One we discussed with the community would be for a furniture store. And they said, let's put it in the back, which we did. The first building, which is 60,000 square feet, is huge, would be reserved for retail. And the zoning is B3, nothing industrial. It's a commercial zoning only. So there's no warehouses, there's no industrial, and there is the opportunity for coffee shop and everything that you mentioned that the residents want to actually have in the building fronting the street. And that was asked by the resident that we flip the furniture store in the back and that we have the retail uses in the front. And so that's exactly what we did. And it's on that
Do
side.
you have buy-in
Mr. Mayor.
from potential retailers for the 60,000 square feet
Well,
building?
we're waiting for approval to be looking, but we actually have some ideas of who could come. And we are also, we discussed that at the meeting, interested in letting some city residents see if they're interested in leasing from us. Because that was one of the comments we got, that some city residents were interested in leasing and having their businesses out there potentially.
So I'll yield to Commissioner Santiago, and then right after Commissioner Santiago, he asked.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I be attending to this situation for months and months and months. And when I heard the gentleman talking about that he have the support of the residents. That's what you say before, no? To be clear, you had the support.
I said
You say that, no? Do you have the support for the
I don't think I
residents?
said that. I said that during the meetings, there was support for the retail use.
No, you said that you had the support for the resident to come in with that plan for put the store out there. And I believe that I be in the last meeting that you have in Helen Miller, November or something like that. I forgot the date, but I know that you have the last meeting out there. And yes, I see a couple of people, they stand out to talk, but they're not even, a resident for the great city of Opa-locka. They're from outside. That's one that I don't like, to play games, when the people here in Opa-locka, probably we not people for like other towns and that, but we have principle here in Opa-locka, and we want the truth in front of everybody and be transparency and clear. I have a question, and I think that I'm be also in the last board meeting that they voting. If we are not making a mistake, it is any member for that board here, I think so. They voting no. They voting no. And it's not that. I see here they writing here, whoever writing the ordinance, that thing passed 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. What does that mean, 2-2? 2-2 is not pass. That I'm right on now, Madam Attorney?
Commissioner, who you want to answer that? Planning and Development?
Well, yes, I like to see
Madam
it.
Manager, could you have staff to come up and address the commissioner's point about the vote at the meeting?
Yeah, Mr. Vice, the thing is, I don't understand if that team, they vote in 2-2.
Well, he's
Yeah.
going to explain to you because you want to answer, so he's going to explain it to you. Mr. Gay?
Vice Mayor and Commissioners, Gregory Gay, Director of Planning and Community Development. As it relates to this particular item being presented to the Planning and Zoning Board, when it came to the comprehensive plan amendment, that vote was done at a 2-2 tie. So that basically means that the motion failed, but that item still proceeds forward to be presented to you. That was their recommendation. As it relates to the zoning was approved at a 3-1 vote. So that reflects the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board. The item still comes before you. It does not die at that board. It comes to you for your consideration. So that's why these items are here before you.
Oh,
You still have the floor, Commissioner.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Well, that's a very good explanation. And you do what you have in your power to do to bring them back to us. But it's a lot of things sometimes here that is, that is not according with the codes and regulation that we have in the city. He say about the resident that the resident approved that. And I don't see any resident here that come here and talk, in favor of that project. They against that. Even we asking, okay, I ask him, I think that's the gentleman right there. You a resident for that area? I move on, but thing had to be clear. Do you receive any letter from the city? Talk to them? Oh, okay. Well, what I like to know, what I want to say is too many things here that it is not convincing me. I know you have a big face, to come and because you want to do your project, but I don't like to be negative or say things that they're not true to the residents. Okay, about the resident go and say yes, that they okay, and not with that at all. And thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner,
Or let
if
me
I
finish.
may respond. I never said we have the full support of the community. We just heard some complaints.
It sounds like you say that before. It's
Well,
okay.
we could maybe look at the cameras.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty precise with the use of my words. I said that we held community meetings where I felt that the community was really leaning towards the retail use. I think Mr. Mayor confirmed that the community is interested in the retail use per prior hearings and meetings. Is that correct? So I don't think I'm saying anything particularly, I'm a square person, Mr. Commissioner, and so I just wanted to tell you that I'm just relaying what I saw. I would not be presenting tonight if the community had not said that. Also, I feel like because we are being deferred or because it takes a lot of time, new residents discover the project and start having the same type of questions that these residents that were present at those meetings were having in the first place. And once they understand the plans, so once they find out that there is a traffic study, once they find out that there is a building in the front that is catering to retail, once they find out that there is a segregated entrance from I-9, that there is a fence that's separating the site, then there's not a lot of objections that we hear toward the project that actually remain. Like, what are the objections to the plans if we are providing retail in the front and that, we are doing all these things and that we are remediating as mandated by Durham and to bring a site to be safe for the community? I don't see what else could be done to answer all the comments that we've heard. There might be comments about a preference to do residential, sure, but we're here presenting a project that I think could work, that seems to respond to a lot of interest also from the community. Is it the majority? Is it everybody? No, and we'll never know. But at least we've made the effort. We've gone to the community meetings. We've listened to what was said there, which is on camera, which we can all hear and go back to. And we came back with the change of plans, moving Modani in the back, changing the zoning from I1 to B3 and putting the potential, retail stores in the front. And I think a lot of people that were at those meetings can testify. One of the residents was here today saying that also he reviewed all the information that we provided transparently and that he saw that, we were truthful about our approach toward what we're saying in this development.
Okay,
So, if I may-
he
oh.
finished? Okay. I know your good intention, okay, to come and invest in here in the great city of Opa-locka, and I love to see something there as soon as we can. But let me say that with the good intention that you have, okay, we're gonna follow what the people, the resident of that area, they want, and they want residential and retail movie theaters, something that we can enjoy like all the city that we don't have here in Opa-locka. We don't need no more warehouses. We don't need here no more junkyards. We don't need here more things, okay, that bring problem to the great city of Opa-locka. Thank you. And you have a very good intention, I know.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, if I may, just our ask is tonight, if we've been at this for about 3 or 4 years now, in different iterations. The applications before you tonight are to change on first reading, the land use from residential to commercial, not industrial. That's item 15.1A. And the second item is to change the zoning from residential to commercial, not to build warehouses, to build commercial space. So what I would ask is we're talking and you are considering, because we've been at this for so long and we have held no less than 4 community meetings and maybe more, but at least 4. And so as my client has said, what we heard at those meetings was retail, not residential. So I would ask if you could please allow us to move forward tonight on first reading. We will have another community meeting. We will work to get people in the room so you can hear them for yourself on tape, supporting the item. But at least if we move forward we don't have to come to the next meeting for second reading, we will put it off so that we can have this vote tonight on first reading positively. You can change your mind on second reading if you don't like it, if you don't hear what you want, if it doesn't convince you, but at least if we can maybe move forward. And I will tell you, Commissioner and Mayor, in terms of getting people signed up on the site, like potential tenants, there will not be potential tenants if we don't get any vote. At least if we have a first reading, he can at least go to potential tenants, to retailers and say, I'm halfway there, right? And maybe, I don't know, he can come back and say, I've talked to A, B, C, D, E, F, and G retailers, and they say, if we can get through, then we'll come. But in this flux, in this no man's land, we can't do anything. So I'm just asking, I'm pleading, based on the criteria, based on staff's recommendation of approval, based on all the information that we have received, if you would allow us to move forward on first reading tonight. Again, we will have another community meeting. We'll have 2 more community meetings. Do our best to bring people here. And if you're still not happy at second reading, we will understand.
Mr. Mayor, I don't like recording voices for people. I like see people in person.
I mean,
You
they
know,
here, so you could,
here.
so it's on record. is
Not,
what I meant.
not, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
no,
meant
no,
they would
I
be
don't
here,
believe
so
in
it would be
voice
on
recordings.
record. Yes.
All right, Commissioner Irvin, I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, so I was privileged to sponsor one of those workshops. Yes, the residents did talk about retail, but that was all they were given. So it's not like you all say we have an option of doing the retail, and because they did ask about housing, that was they wanted housing there. But if you're giving me the option of retail, then this is what I want. This is what I would like to see as retail. Personally, I was very stern on saying I would love for this to be a Dania Point. I remember saying that in the workshop because I know it was the same kind of property. So the residents and you all did make the adjustment because the residents asked to put the furniture store in the rear. You all did that. But if it's the same level of mediation that has to be done to the property, why can't we do a mixed use? Like, or try to do it where it's a mixed use. We have apartments or whatever it is, and we have the retail, and everybody's happy. If it's the same 2 feet that what we've been told, because we also was told that to do residential, it's really difficult because it's really expensive. I'm sorry, because you have to do so much more digging to get the contamination out. So I'm just it's a lot.
May I respond to that?
Sure.
Mr. Mayor? So it's not the depth of the remediation that's different. It's the area of remediation that's different. So if we did residential here, you'd have to have more green area. When you have a commercial development, you have less green area. So it just means the 2 feet is the same. The amount that we go down is the same. It's just how much space is covered by concrete as opposed to green. So if it's covered by more green, then that's more previously contaminated space that's exposed. If it's covered by less green and more concrete, that's less previously contaminated space that's exposed. So the cost is because the more green you have, the more space you have to remediate at 2 feet. Does that make sense?
Can I have a question on this?
So,
no.
one quick second. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this. Our manager have 5 bosses. Hooray. Us 5 bosses have 17,000 bosses. And it gets difficult. But go ahead.
That's why we're asking for
Vice
first
Mayor.
reading and give us a chance to come back.
Thank you. Madam Manager, I'd like to hear from staff before I make my comments, because a lot has been said, and Mr. Gay's been around for a minute, going from why it's commercial versus why it's in residential. And I want him to address it because he's been around to hear some of those numbers that have been floated. And I know just from historical reference from being around, there have been numerous of folks who've come to look at that site. So I want him to add his historical and context as the director on this site and that entailment, if I could, Madam Manager.
Again, Gregory Gay. I've been with the city of Opa-locka going on 12 years now. And this site has been one of the sites that has been a challenge as it relates to development. When I first got here, the present zoning that is for this site was for townhouse development with a mixed-use overlay that would allow you to do a combination of residential and commercial. The CRA did their master plan, and that was one of the focuses or goals that they had within their plan to make this more of a mixed-use type of area. As we have learned over the years in talking to each of the different property owners, I mean, there's been at least 3 property owners since I've been here. The amount of contamination, and we were actually presented with a grant that basically did the phase 2 level of examining how much contamination was on the site. There's a lot of contamination on that site, and it's various contaminations, and it's throughout probably 95% of the site. So there's not really one area where you can just build something and not have to worry about contamination. As it relates to residential, there's always been posed of challenges in doing townhome developments. Because of the scale of that particular type of development, there would be a considerable amount of land that would be contaminated, that would be at a level of exposure. Most of your residential development on a lower scale, based on our code, you're going to have green space somewhere between 35 to 40% of the land. That will be green space. So that is 35 to 40% of a 7.58 acre site that will have to be remediated in order for residential to be built. As other considerations were brought forth, doing multifamily, there was considerable concern of how stable that particular location was based on all of the contamination that was brought to the site. So the site has never been impacted properly in order to determine whether a multi-story development could be built on that site. So everyone has always looked at something, doing something low scale, no more than 2 to 3 stories. And as we have had all of the different applications that have come forth, commercial has been the common denominator for any type of development that would occur on a site, whether it be for mixed use, residential and commercial, or just commercial. Industrial, we already knew from the community that is not a direction that they wanted to go in, and we have basically told every potential developer that has come to the site, do not look at having this particular site as an industrial use. Look at it as a commercial or residential. Now, numbers have been thrown around as it relates to how much remediation is required and what that cost would look like. The numbers that we have heard have basically made it where if you did residential, you would be doing luxury residential, because that's the only people that will be able to afford it based on the level of remediation that will be required. So you wouldn't have any market rate housing. You wouldn't have any affordable housing. You would have to do luxury rate housing in order for people to afford whatever would be built at that site. That's pretty much the history that I have. I know there may be some others that have some other related history, but the cost has always been a factor as it relates to what is to be built on the site and how much remediation would be required in order for the site to be developed. At the end of the day, we want the site to be developed. We want the site to be developed for what the residents and the people of Opa-locka would like to see. We believe that commercial is probably that best use for this particular location. We would like to see a residential component, maybe possibly up at a higher level if it could be developed, but we have not been afforded that type of presentation other than what the first applicants that were done, and that was over more than 5-6 years ago. So that's where we stand right now.
Mr. Mayor, I want to commend you, Mr. Gay, for being very smooth with those words. I'm going to try to be as smooth as you. I go back with this challenge, not only from an elected official, not only from running parks, but living on York Street, growing up watching what was, trucks going down there, trucks coming out, to where it is now. I didn't attend any of the workshops, I think, but maybe one. Okay. I know some of my colleagues did. I've talked to folks pro and against. The challenge for me began way back, even when I was mayor, because that site was just sitting there. At that time, it was even worse shape. If anybody can remember back then, it wasn't even fenced, tires, the whole 9 yards, as they say. One of the things that we did do that you mentioned was to be able to get that Brownsfield grant to go to that phase 2 level to see how bad it was. Because at that point, it was only a phase one, which to me was just picking up paper. Am I correct? Phase two was much more in depth. We actually partnered to get that grant to be able to see just how bad it was for ourselves, rather than just depend on developers potentially saying it. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So having said that, over the years, I've heard the same thing. Red Lobster, Starbucks, big box retail. The reality is, in talking to developers, even who potentially might consider that site, the fact that you could not have trucks going down in there, we didn't want it industrial, and you didn't say it, but I know some of that came from, if you go to the industrial, Commissioner Kelly, Vice Mayor Kelly is going to fight you tooth and nail because they don't want industrial. You ain't got to say that. I know that's true. Because I would, because we only see heavy trucks going down Rutland, Service, York, et cetera, because they had to go back out the same way. So in order to make something viable, way back when, we did go to the state to petition the cutout possibility so that you would not have big trucks, whatever, going down residential. Now that took some time too, but that's been accomplished. Am I correct?
Yes, it has.
Okay. So we're not going to get, because of the cost, and I know you don't want to throw out numbers, but I think if the clerk were to look at the minutes or we would pull them, there have been numbers stated here, even by previous administrations and developers even, of what that remediation would cost to put housing, affordable workforce, market rate housing, what it would cost. And I remember some of those numbers being in the $5 to $6 million range. Am I way off?
That was probably $5 to $6 million pre-pandemic. So the cost of things have gone up significantly. So that number is.
Well, I'm just going by the number I remember back then, 5-6 million.
Yes.
And one of the challenges that we need to be aware of, and I know it's not popular, no developer has wanted to come in and spend $5 or $6 million on remediation. That's even before you build anything. And that's just reality. It's not popular, but it's reality. Nobody has wanted to come and do that, even with all of our potential incentives. No developer. And you said you've been here 12 years, and I've been around for a while. I've tried to get folks to want to do some housing, some apartments, some whatever. But the cost to do all of that is not in their best interest. And so that's why they haven't done it. That's why they have not done it. There's been documentation, and I even asked the manager for you to bring it with you, where the studies were done, where I know some of the previous developers went out and tried to get some of the development, some of the restaurants, some of the things that they wanted to see. And I hope you brought it with you, because I would want residents to see that they're here. And it was all no, 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 no. Am I correct?
Yes.
So it's not like we don't want to see certain things on the area. But again, it goes to the fact of what a developer will put there. Now, we had the money ourselves and could buy it, $6 million for remediation, and that's pre-pandemic, then we could decide whatever we're going to do with it. But we're not going to mediate or remediate the site. And it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. And I know they've had meetings. I know that we're changing a use, and everybody knows I'm very reluctant to do things like that. But at this point, I don't see anything else, even though we want that, we're just gonna kick this can down the road. Because if somebody that could develop and put housing on there could do it affordable and make money, I believe they would have been there, because it sits right in a good spot. I mean, he's really on the lakefront. You could probably do some back lakefront because you got the county lake on the backside. That has not occurred. That has not occurred. What was for us, it may not be the best. The changes for commercial use, the commission obviously will make a decision, but the reality is it's going to sit there. And if that's okay with the residents and the commission, we can do that too. But I think this company has offered, they've heard the community say we don't want this way or what have you. I think there's no perfect world, but in your professional opinion, and I'll end with this, and here rest my colleagues, in your professional opinion, and you've been around doing community development and the like for a while, and even with the CRA potential, et cetera, do you envision or believe that there's developers come forward even post-pandemic to look at that site even before this group came, knowing that contamination?
We have not been approached other than the group that's been involved thus far. I'm not aware whether there may be other interests that may be out there. No.
Okay, but you said you've been aware of at least 4 different developers that have come forward, but the results are the same. They don't move forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll listen to my colleagues. I would just say, at this point, the facts are the facts. And as much as we'd like to see certain things on that site, the reality is it's not going to occur like we'd like. And I guess to the other point, I want to clarify, because my colleagues asked about Daniel Point and what they have, and the developer mentioned space and greenness, but I want to hear from our staff, Mr. Mayor, because they're the developers. I want to hear from staff your position on that response to that answer.
The comparison to Daniel Point for this particular site is somewhat of a suitable comparison. Both sites are brownfield sites. Both sites had a certain level of contamination on them. I'm not sure whether the contamination of the Dania site and this site are equal, or whether one was lesser, or whether one was greater than the other. You are dealing with a much smaller site at this location, and there's a multitude of different uses that are occurring, more commercial oriented than residential. They do have some hotels and some apartment buildings, but it's mostly commercial and parking. So if you look at the Daniel Point site, you could pretty much say the entire site, with the exception of a few trees in different locations, is asphalted over. It's encapsulated. It's pretty much concrete. This group is looking to do something very similar at this particular site, based on the plans that we've received thus far. Can it be done? Yes, it can. The remediation is really going to determine how much development can occur on the site and how much is required for that particular cost to be resolved.
And you, Mr. Mayor.
I think I answered your question.
Yeah, well, I was getting a clarification on what my colleague asked. So, was that a yes or no? Because you did a lot of talking. Because she basically said, based on the Dania Point site, because it was a much
Yes.
bigger space versus this site, which is a smaller space.
Yes.
That's why you couldn't have the same comparison. That's what I'm asking. Do you agree with that statement or disagree?
I agree.
You agree with that statement? Okay. Mr. Mayor, I will listen to my colleagues, and then I guess you'll call for the vote.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Bass.
thank you. I came into this meeting here to cast my vote, and sitting here has enlightened me to a whole lot more. Let me just first allude to what the mayor pointed out. And like I said earlier, I don't have my glasses. I can't read a thing. You said something about the ordinance is not the same as the verbal. That's what you said, right? So before I vote on this, I would like to see the ordinance having the same verbiage that's being used by our presenter. Since it's not the same, that means we're voting on something that's not verbalized. It makes it kind of totally different because we're hearing industrial, and then we're hearing something else. So, Mr. Mayor, because I don't have my glasses, am I correct?
I got staff. They
wrote it, and that's
Am I correct?
Within the title itself, this is the ordinance for the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, considering a small scale comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map for a 7.5 acre parcel located at 1700 Service Road and identified by the folio number, amending the land use of the property from low-density residential to commercial. And that express land use designation. So it is changing it from residential to commercial. And as it relates to the zoning, it's much more specific, but both of them are from residential to commercial.
Commercial.
Mr. Gay, if you look at the public hearing, which I've always had an issue with this, under the planning and zoning, it says commercial industrial.
That was a title that I believe had been utilized from the previous application. It should have been adjusted to read just commercial.
That was, Mr. Mayor, if I could, to Commissioner Bass's point, you deferred those two, correct? Because that's what she's really referring to, and I think that's what the mayor's referring to. The wording on the 15, that's, I think, so Mr. Mayor, maybe the manager needs to clarify for Commissioner Bass and yourself as well.
15A1 and 2 are both deferred. We are only entertaining 16A1 and 2, the ordinances.
But can I say?
Go ahead, go ahead.
I think the confusion is because 15A1 and 2 is in our packet, even you deferred it, and the language we're seeing is something different.
Yeah.
And so that's what's confusing. I know you're deferring it, and I don't want to speak for you. The question becomes, we're deferring it, well, you're doing it, and so we're voting on the ones we are, which go from residential to commercial. But in those 15A1 and 2, it says industrial. So maybe you can clarify why you're deferring.
Mr. Gay?
I think that's what.
And
Can you clarify,
also,
please?
Madam Manager, why are you doing that? Because I remember in my briefing, it was stated that these items were going to be deferred and come back during second reading. But also, and Mr. Gay started talking, I was going to keep going. It's also in 16A2. So the language it's there. It's
yeah.
commercial industrial. It's there.
Right, and once
Mr.
we
Gay
vote on
can
that, that's
explain
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, as it relates to the language, we do recognize that from the previous application, that was to be looked upon, changing it from residential to industrial. We made modifications to that language. I believe some of the language did bleed into the new legislation. So that is something that does need to be corrected. And it did go before the Planning and Zoning Board in that same form and fashion, which is why it's being brought before you in that same form and fashion. Nonetheless, the application is for the change from residential to commercial. You can consider that as a scrivener's error, and we can make that correction.
Mr. Mayor,
Dr. Bass?
thank you for the opportunity to finish. This is so complicated. And at the same time, our city needs something that looks like this. My issue is I want it to equal out. I'm not comfortable voting on it tonight, but truth be told, I was going to support it, like truly, but I need verbiage to be the same. Verbiage needs to be the same because then we're like kind of lost. Because once we vote on this, even though it's only first reading, and my intent after sitting here is to support it for first reading and see what happens. But first reading is still not gelling.
If I may, it is not uncommon in your city, your city attorney can attest to it if you'd like, to make changes between first and second reading. The change, removing the word industrial doesn't change the intent of the ordinance or anything else. So
If Mr. Mayor, to our attorney.
If it's the will of the commission, you certainly could change it before the second reading. That is really the will of the commission.
Thank you. I am going to support it for first reading. I have to go at my heart for first reading and we'll see what happens.
All right, if there are, Mr. Gay, go ahead.
And we will make sure that the title reads properly when it is advertised for second reading.
And if you could make the motion for the change for the title, if this is the will of the commission to change it, if you all could do that as an amendment so that we can change it.
That's on the second item, correct? All right.
Yes.
On
All
both.
right, so if there are no other questions to the applicant, Mr. Gabe, or the city manager at this moment, we can go ahead and call the question for item number 16A1.
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin?
Is this for the amendment? Was it amendment or
No,
something?
this is for the first reading. There's no amendment on this one. If we go to the next one, then that one will be there. So this is just the first reading, and they said they're gonna bring something back.
First reading, no.
Vice Mayor Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago?
No.
Mayor Taylor?
No.
Motion fails, first reading.
All right, moving on to 16A2.
Yeah. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, considering the rezoning request for approximately 7.58 acres of land located at 1700 Service Road and identified by folio 08-2122-005-2170 from the current residential townhouse RTH zoning district to the commercial intensive B3 zoning district to allow for the construction of 2 commercial industrial mixed use buildings on the property located within the corridor mixed-use overlay district, providing for adoption of representations, providing for scrivener's errors, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
All right, Madam Manager?
This request is to rezone the property located at 1700 Service Road from a residential townhouse district to a commercial zoning district. And Mr. Gay will answer any questions you have.
All right, this is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open.
Mark Cooper, 6801 Southwest 75 Terrace. I don't want to bore you on this one issue, but everyone's dancing around the lack of information. What's the nature of the contamination? The last owner that was here claimed that they had to do boring in the neighborhood to check if the contamination had leached out. All of a sudden, they haven't presented reports. Mr. Miller may have spoken too much. It's not in the public record. I did the report today. It's not there. So you need to know, in fact, if it's going to be commercial, whatever it is, what's the site for real? Because people live there. And if they were going to bore outside with the previous owner and now everything's hunky-dory, what's the story? Please, you have to, people might be getting sick if it's so bad. If it's not so bad, then let's get to the truth and we can do whatever we want. But the truth will help us guide along the process. Thank you.
Public hearing is still open. Public hearing is still open.
Once again, until we get a comprehensive.
Name and address.
Before we get a comprehensive.
Name it.
Just before we get a.
Name and address.
Kevin Scott.
And address.
8441 Northwest 25th Avenue. Before we get a comprehensive report from Durham, I think it will be unadvised to move forward with any type of vote or any type of thing, because we really need to know what's going on, because the community is at large. It's not just putting something there that's gonna work. Let's see what's really going on. We have residents in this area who's lived there for years. We don't know the level of contamination. We haven't had a comprehensive report from Durham. This gentleman said they got grants but where's the final report? What's going on? Let's be responsible. We can't just say, let's go build on top of this. We're gonna do this and do that. If it's contaminated, let's deal with it. Make it a brownfield and let's deal with it. Don't just do this to the community. Really? Come on now. Let's have a conscience. Some people lived there for years. Coach, you coached over there. You lived over there. You know what's going on. You see what's happening. So let's be responsible. If we're gonna build it, okay, commercial, residential. but let's find out what's happening with the level of contamination over there. We don't want this to become another Detroit. We don't want that. Let's act like we responsible people, like we actually care about our community. Thank you.
Public hearing is still open.
Brian Dennis, address 2140 York Street. Again, everything that I asked for was provided, except what was presented. And the one thing that I can say that I was asking for was that, the Brownsfield, the contamination piece. Because I know from Olinda Park, when it was Commissioner Edmondson District, they had to take everything up out of there. And I'm in agreement with that. We know what was running down Wilmington and Rutland to get to that site. We know what was there. We know what the concern. I know a few of the residents. I even got chastised. I'm quite sure you know what I say. I got chastised Friday about what? About the project. But until everything comes out, no. He said Detroit. He's talking about Flint. That's what he meant to say, Flint. I've heard people say they don't know if people back there sick, got cancer, don't died off. Nobody knows. But in order for the project to move, all the information has to come out. Everything has to come out. And that's the only way it's going to really get public support. That's the only way it's going to be able to get y'all to pass it and to approve it. That documentation, I was reading it, some of it in the car while I was taking my daughter to work and looking at the meeting. Never saw it until tonight. Never saw it until tonight.
Public hearing is still open. Public hearing is closed. All right, Madam Manager, any questions for Madam Manager, Mr. Gay, or the applicant on this item? Hearing none.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor?
staff is recommending approval. Could you just state for the record why you're recommending approval?
Mayor, members of the commission, Gregory Gay. Staff is recommending approval based on the need for the zoning and the land use to be in concert with one another. Because you did vote down the first item as it relates to the land use, there's really not an opportunity to move forward with the zoning because they have to be in concert with one another. So you would have had to approve the land use by first reading in order to consider the zoning by first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Gay, because I want down the record, and the way you're interpreting that statement. So thank you for that. No, I don't have, the mayor's in charge. I think he's closed. Closed public hearing. You've closed public hearing. So it's up to you how you want to handle it. I had the floor, but you got the gavel. I mean, I don't know if you want to allow it to respond.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Thank you. Really quick, just if you're so inclined, you could approve the rezoning tonight and then reconsider your prior denial and vote yes for that. So feel free to do that. We would really appreciate it if you did that tonight. So you could go backwards and vote yes.
I'm quite sure you got to do what you need to say. The commission has spoken on that issue, so I'm not talking about that. They will have to decide if they want to. But I want to make it clear, passing this is not going anywhere because we voted down the others. That's what I was getting to Mr. Gay's point. It's a moot point because you voted down the first one. They go hand in hand. So it's in all effects, unless it changes, it's not going to happen because the zoning has not been changed. Correct? I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Could I get Mr. Gay back up there?
The process is that you would change the land use and then the zoning would be following concert with the land use. So the land use would need it to be considered for approval prior to the zoning being considered for approval. You denied the land use at this time, so you can either still vote whichever way, but realistically, there will have to be some reconsiderations as it relates to the zoning position.
Okay, you can say it. You say it out loud. Thank you, Mr. Gay, for your explanation. And that's the reality. It's not going anywhere. Even you vote for this, you can't split the apple because it's not going anywhere. I understand what the applicant is requesting, but it's not going anywhere. And normally I don't do it, Mr. Mayor, but since he called me coach, he went back to history. So I got to address that. You're correct. There's nobody more familiar with the area growing up and everything than me. And yet I was willing to support it on first reading tonight. And I know I'll get some backlash, but I'm okay with that because in my opinion, it's going to still sit there. This gentleman told you he can do nothing with with residential. He's a commercial and whatever developer. So I wanted to be clear, leaving here tonight, even if we were to pass the second one, nothing can happen because the first one didn't move. And I don't like to leave people with any illusions of what have you. I would like to say to my colleagues and to the mayor, Madam Manager, because it keeps coming up about what's really there, the level of this or the level of that. And I'm going to say this. This is Vice Mayor Kelly talking. Historically, from talking to folks, it is a cost to do that. It's a big cost. And no developer that I've talked to or been to the city, and Mr. Gay can attest because he really said it, is going to take on that cost of such a magnitude. Because given what is presented pre-pandemic, the numbers were there. So if the city were to assume the cost, don't frown because I got to ask it. I asked the previous administration on the record. Matter of fact, Madam Clerk, if you go back and pull that when this came up last time under previous administration, I remember what the number was, but I want to get it accurately. You can share with my colleague what that would look like for us to have you and our staff to do everything to give that comfort level that this is what's really there. This is the level of contamination there, because I know that would be a cost. Usually you do that through a Brownsfield grant, and we know that those are limited now. But is that something that your office could undertake? Obviously, if we pass legislation to do it, you could, but it's going to be a cost.
It's going to be a cost. Are we prepared for that cost at this time? Absolutely not. We're not prepared for that cost. We can get the quotes and see how much it will cost and bring it back to the commission, but there is going to be a cost, a significant cost.
Okay, and I'm saying that, and I want that recorded because we can't keep, hodgepodging the real issue. There's a reason why I sit there for over 12 years. There's a reason why developers that are building all over, to my colleague's point, building certain places that normally you wouldn't, but they have not touched an area that's right next to State Road 9 with all of that commercial traffic going up there. There's a reason why it hasn't occurred. Even with saying we'll do a cutout to State Road 9 so you ain't got to go through residential, nobody's still willing to develop it or even consider it for residential. So I'm going to work with the attorney. I'm going to request some legislation to have you and staff look at what that cost is for remediation, what it would be, and if the commission took on that task. So we would know. Because if no developer is going to develop it, because it's designed for residential and they're not going to touch it, we're not passing industrial, and we definitely, just defeated commercial. So let's look at the costs. And let's let folks know. We want this developed for residential like we'd like to see. Here's what it's going to cost. And will we be able to bite that? I don't know. But that's a decision the commission will make. So I'm requesting that, and I'll do the email. But let's do that so we can get a clear picture of what it's going to cost so we don't keep dancing around this issue. Because in my opinion, if it's going to get built with any kind of residential, the city's going to have to put in some big money. That's just Vice Mayor Kelly talking. Because I don't see a developer doing it for residential. Maybe for commercial, as this gentleman's proposing, automatically do it for industrial because it's already there, but that's not what we want. That's very clear. We don't want trucks. So I'm going to send that to you, bring it back. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for allowing me to share that thought.
All right. So Mr. Gay and Madam Manager, this is your item. Would you like to pull this or you want us to vote?
I would like to pull the item.
Got it. All right. So this item has been deferred to a date not certain. Oh, you just pulled it. Okay. All right, so we're moving on to no, good night. The city manager's report, Madam Manager.
I did submit my report to you all last night in writing. I would just like to and remind you all that we do have a hurricane preparedness meeting that will be held on Wednesday, June 24th at 5 p.m., right before our next regular commission meeting. And we do have different agencies that will be here to provide resources and information to the public. And flyers were sent to you all.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up. Madam Manager, why are we doing it here versus downstairs as opposed to
What do you mean downstairs?
it's a hurricane giveaway types.
We were going to do it inside because we were having Florida Power, like different agencies here to be able to speak and give out information along with tables with all the information, all the giveaways on it.
Okay, so my concern was that it's for an hour right before the commission meeting. And I didn't want it to disturb the meeting. So I was going to suggest that we move it downstairs. Or not even necessarily outside or in the front, but not in here.
So you were thinking maybe like the drive-through type, the
Yeah,
giveaway?
drive-through type thing. Because one, they gotta lug all that stuff up here. That's one thing. And then two, the residents gotta lug all that stuff down. And it's just gonna disrupt the flow, in my opinion. So I was gonna talk to you about either moving it downstairs or if not, moving it to the other side, but just not in here. Or maybe even the red room, Vice Mayor Kelly's room.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, because I actually didn't want to do it on a commission day. I didn't, I really wanted another day and not even having it at City Hall. But I was told that,
No, but not in.
but you know, because if you're having it downstairs, number one, they can't present. I mean, you could do the tables
Yeah,
and
they're not going to be able to present.
now you just mentioned drive-through, so I don't know what that would entail, blocking out the street, I guess.
If we're having it outside, it would have to be.
Okay, but then I don't know, the presentations could be a lot more challenging. I know when I had FPNL present at Meet Monday, they wanted a PowerPoint, you know, they had the thing on the screen. So that would be my concern with it there. I never really cared for it being here, even before the meeting, because I think that's just too, and then at 5 o'clock. People are, you know, getting off of work, what have you. So that might be even a challenge. And then we got to rush up here because assuming they're still down there, we're going to come up with a meeting. So you know, I'm more amenable taking downstairs, but I still don't like the idea of that day on a commission meeting at all. But I know you set it up. I think you've already kind of
Yes.
posted it and put a flyer out and we shared it. So
And that was done based on feedback at the last commission meeting to have it before the next commission meeting, so it wasn't on a separate date. Because originally we were going to have it on a separate date.
Was okay, but it wasn't a giveaway. What was it was supposed to be the hurricane plan. That meeting that we always do when y'all talk about what we doing.
Internally with staff, just staff?
No, with the commission. You always present a hurricane plan to the city.
So
Separate
that
and
was
apart
the-
from the event.
Okay,
So
so I'm
that's
gonna
what-
need I'm gonna need to know. I can pull this, but I'm gonna need to know what
No,
it is that you all
Don't
want
pull
to
it.
see.
I'm just saying don't do it in here. That's what I'm just asking. Just not in here.
Okay,
So that way, maybe do it downstairs or even in the other room, but just not in the chamber.
okay, so
Where we can smooth transition.
we will not be able to, we won't have the presenters. What we can do is ask them to give us information so we can include it in the giveaway bags. Okay? That's it. I don't have anything else.
Well, I think you can still do the presenters, have the tables downstairs or in the lobby, how we did the book giveaway, and let them go around and talk to people. But just
If we're gonna do that, Mayor, downstairs on the first floor, it's gonna be too busy. It's just
Okay,
gonna
well-
be too busy.
all right, if you have a plan, then for here, then we'll go with it. I'll see it.
Okay.
But that was my only concern because it's just
Mr.
the
Mayor.
transition bothers me.
It just-
Commissioner?
How many people we expecting that is gonna come to that?
We never know. It's a community meeting, so we don't know how many people, residents will show up.
Yeah.
But presenters, we have 3 so far that have confirmed.
Okay.
Different agency. I'm not gonna say presenters, but different agencies.
No, I look, yeah, I looking, no, I say for the community residents, they're gonna come. We don't know how many they're gonna
No.
assist them because, I know that a lot of people that interest, to know about what we're gonna do to prepare for the hurricane season and everything. And the mayor said, do not do it in here. That day, somebody say in Shabandi, they say no. But it depends how many people is coming. But that day we have a commissioner meeting?
Yes,
Oh, and
Yes.
that's at 5 o'clock.
yes.
And a question for the mayor, and what is the problem we're gonna have if we're doing here in the chamber?
Because
It's only a
it's
question.
a giveaway of hurricane supplies.
Ah,
That's the, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, but the
What are we gonna
giveaway
give him?
tables are going to be outside. They're not going to be set up in here.
Okay,
They'll be
Okay, so the
outside, so it's not,
presentation is-
yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's. 'cause
They'll
you
be
said,
out
like,
in the
everything
hallway
was-
area.
problem is,
Okay, but then that's better.
problem is short, boom.
Because we do understand that people may not show up for the actual 5 o'clock, but they may come to the commission meeting, so we still want to have those things available.
Okay, so just the presentation is
Yes.
in the chamber.
Right.
But everything else will be outside. That's fine. All right. I don't have an issue with that.
I'll take any concerns you may have.
Whatever I have a
My
chance,
grandbaby.
like, we're gonna start it first.
All right, but before we start, Madam Attorney, can you please wait? I'm sorry. Do we have any questions?
Yeah.
To the manager.
Yeah, to the manager. Everybody have question.
No.
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 No?
Kind of ready to go. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Does it mean we don't have any complaint for anything?
No, we haven't. But
Resident, that they want to do nothing?
I'll send-
Because that's your report, no?
I'll call you tomorrow. with my-
Yeah, sometimes we tell you, what we see outside and
It's getting late. That's-
good. Yeah, I know, and I'm very hungry too.
Exactly.
But that's not my fault. Okay. Yeah. Madam Manager, it's a couple of items that I like to, tell you what's going on, and I have the complaints already. And one of these items that I'm going to mention in here, I heard that in Monday, the Vice Mayor Kelly celebrating every first Monday of the month. And 27 in Sisseman, we have two places. Well, we have three places there that they're very hot. Okay, and we have a lot of problem. And I always be, tell you to send, and try to make some order out there. Especially the gas station, the US gas. We had to talk to the owner because the other day I get in there and what I see is they selling beer and the people drinking inside. And one of the guys that work there, he always called me, oh, please send the police. But why you selling beer to people that they're going to create a problem and you let them drink it inside? That's one that I want to, take attention about that because they're not supposed to sell no beer inside of the store. The other one, next to the store, we have a tire place. Okay, they be open 24 hours. And the next business is a mechanic shop, okay? That they have there a disorder. There's a lot of cars they are broken outside in that gas station. It's incredible. Plus, they use, and I see that they clean it out. Yeah, part of the access the utility city have medially, okay? Very, I want to express it like that. Very disgusting what they have there. Okay, that's another one. And if that store is open 24 hours, I hope they have what we require. Okay, what we require in the city to keep up store or a place like that 24 hours with music and everything. That's a complaint for the resident live in the other side. Okay, now, do you know that we have another neighborhood in Opa-locka? A new one? No, anybody know about it with my colleagues? Okay, now it's a store out there for motorcycles across the gas station. And by the other side, we had a good restaurant that I love to go there to buy grits and everything out there. The Jackson, that's what they call him. Okay, next to Jackson. And the motorcycle store is a container. It's a container right there. I don't know if the container have permit or not, but there are people living there. Outside, when what do we call in the campaigns? Houses? They live there. They taking shower there in front of everybody. I even see, I'm sorry to say that, but I see, I see the other day somebody necking out there. Already I see 3 of that 10 installing and people sleeping, living there like a regular house. Not acceptable here in the great city of Opa-locka. We have to take some action about that neighborhood. Please, okay?
Commissioner, is it unhoused people?
No, it is, and police have gone out there. They've made some arrests, and then they come back. So we
But we were working on something for homeless, and I believe Vice Mayor brought it up a couple months ago.
Yeah, for decent homeless, not for people that they're gonna go there to do, you know, a disaster there in our area. Okay, that's illegal. And before I came to the meeting, I passed and I see him there. That's 310. 10, that's what we call it? Damn, 10. There are 3 of them. 1 in the front and 2 in the side between the restaurant and the motorcycle store. Okay, now for the hurricane, for the hurricane season, I don't know if he asking you or the clerk, but for you, I know how control about that. The people for MacArthur Senior Citizen Building already request from me, and I'm waiting for an answer from here to bring that that service to the building out there in the room that they prepare every year for make it. MacArthur Senior Citizen. If we don't have nothing yet for them, what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it myself, I don't know, but probably I'm gonna rent in a bus and I'm gonna bring everybody for the building to here. But they need to us go out there like every year. And that's my request, and I don't hear anything for that request yet. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner.
Yes.
We did speak about it, and the ask was for us to go over there to them.
Yeah.
But if you want, we can speak about transportation, our seniors bus picking up the seniors that's interested in attending a meeting. We can speak about that, but I know the ask was for us to take the meeting there when we spoke.
Yes, Madam Manager, exactly. But I don't have any answer, and we already starting the the hurricane season. And the reason why they called me today and they say if I have a date, I say no, I don't, and that's a request.
Oh, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I think
I'm sorry. Maybe I missed something. Take what meeting?
MacArthur,
To MacArthur.
the residents of MacArthur wants a hurricane meeting. So he was suggesting that we do it over there, but Madam Manager said if we want to, we can bus them to the meeting on the 24th.
Okay.
That way it's all in sync. Okay.
But we do that every year.
But y'all can work that out offline.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Can I please, I just got a note from our police that the police department is working an active fire at 2335 Alabama Avenue. So there's a current fire right now.
2335.
Got it. Thank you. All right, so I know y'all gotta go, so we're gonna rush it. Madam Attorney, really quick, can you?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, I was asked to briefly go over Senate Bill 1134, which prohibits Florida counties and municipalities from funding, promoting, or taking official action related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, known as DEI initiatives. An overview of the bill aims to restrict local governments in Florida from engaging in diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. The bill creates two new statutes, 125.595 and 166.04971, to define DEI broadly and prohibits municipalities from funding, promoting, or implementing programs, offices, or positions dedicated to DEI. Any existing ordinances or resolutions, rules, regulations, programs, and policies related to DEI are declared void under the new bill, and it was just signed by the governor this week. The definition of DEI includes efforts to influence employee composition, provide preferential treatment, or implement training or programming based on race, color, sex, ethnicity, gender, identity, or sexual orientation, except for compliance with state or federal anti-discrimination laws. The prohibition on funding local governments cannot expend funds to establish or maintain DEI offices, and also municipal offices or other local officials acting in an official capacity who violate the bill may be charged with misfeasance or malfeasance in office. There are legal remedies that even residents may bring actions in circuit court against counties or municipalities violating the law, with the courts authorized to declare to award declaratory and injunctive relief, including damages and cost. There is a contract certification that's now required, and so potential recipients of county or municipal contracts or grants must certify compliance with the bill before receiving funding. There are many implications related to this bill, which was recently signed by the governor, to include potentially affecting hiring practices, training, and community outreach initiatives. It also introduces, again, accountability for local government officials who act contrary to the bill. Overall, it represents a major legislation effort to centralize control over DEI initiatives at the state level. It restricts local government's discretion in addressing diversity and equity issues. From a municipal law perspective, this Senate Bill 1134 is one of the most consequential local government preemption laws enacted in recent years because it affects not only budgeting decisions, but also personnel policies, training programs, grant administration, public events, contracting practices, and official government communications. Some of the other things that the city will want to be aware of is the city must not take any official action relating to these initiatives, but it is not limited to adopting or enforcing ordinances, resolutions, rules, regulations, program, or policies related. It includes, but is not limited to, adopting or enforcing ordinances, resolution, rules, regulations, programs, or policies related to DEI. And I wanted to give you some of the things that it will not cover. It's a lot, so I'm gonna try to shorten it a little bit, but the city will be able to have some events and things if it wants to, if those are related to recognizing federal or state holidays like patriotic or national observances, monuments, memorials, or museums. So the bill does not prohibit municipal actions that are required for compliance with state or federal law, and that will include if it's a federal or state holiday, the city will still be able to observe those things. Issuing event permits in a content neutral manner and providing public safety services, the city will be able to do. Using equal opportunity or equal employment opportunity materials that inform about prohibitions on discrimination under state or federal law, the city will still be able to do. And the city will just have to be aware of enforcement risk. A local resident, again, could bring these actions. It has wide-ranging implications, and I have already sent something to the manager on this issue, but as we go forward and you look to set your events for next year, we can analyze each one of those events to ensure that we're not in violation of any of the state laws. Thank
Alright.
you.
That's perfect. So once we get that, then you can opine at that moment. But I think everybody should have an understanding. If not, then Madam Manager, we're gonna do one-on-ones with everybody as it relates to events.
I definitely can.
Okay. All right, so we're moving on. We can go each one of our reports at the time and you can.
Yes,
take-
no, not reports. I had some for the manager.
No,
That's
do
what I-
do your report. Do you want to go first?
No, but I'm doing reports. I have some for the manager, not my report. I could do my report afterwards. Thank you for that, Madam Manager, because it leads me to what I was going to ask you. Have you come up with the dates yet for our budget workshops and or town halls for the community yet?
I have not, but I did speak to Ms. Walker today, and she's gonna be sending an email to the city clerk on getting some polling the commission.
Okay, and how many workshops are you planning for the commission? And before we would go out to the community, or are you gonna do one, then the community and come back? How are you gonna do it? Because I don't want the community to get a town hall, or we go out to the community and we not kind of formalize what we intend to do.
So first I want to have, of course, I do want to have a one-on-one with all of the elected officials, and that's going to come first. Then we'll have our first initial town hall workshop with the commission, and then we can start those other meetings following the workshop with the commission.
Okay, okay, so you're gonna poll us, because we need to,
Yes.
we're in June already, and so we need to get that and then get out to the community for whatever is being proposed. I
Vice Mayor,
did,
before you leave off that, do we have time to do all those series of meetings? Because it has to go to the state by a certain time to come back to us, to go back to the state for final approval. But I think that's when, June, July?
Yes.
August
We'll
first
have-
is when it's
We'll
due.
have time. We have August.
Not that August first is due to the state, or
Right.
July 31st is due to the state.
To the
But-
state.
Yeah. And then it come, once they approve it with their
Then they come back
recommendations,
to the
it comes
commission.
back.
Yes.
That's.
Right, because that's why I'm asking the question, because it's due to the state by the August 1st, and
Yes.
then we go through the regular September process, but it has to be to them by the 1st. So we're in June already,
gotta
really
vote on it.
end of June. So we gotta
We're gonna have the fast
workshop,
pace, but we're gonna
get to the community and have the
work
actual vote on it.
Right, to the
And that's why I'm bringing it up.
sorry, to the oversight board. We're gonna have to fast pace it, but it's gonna happen. Ms. Walker will be sending an email out tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna suggest this. We need to try to get that first workshop in before the end of June. I know
Okay.
that could be challenging, because you're gonna hit July and all of us may be doing things, and it's due to the state by August 1st. So, and we want to go out to the community, obviously, at least one time, and get their input, or to at least let them know what we're proposing in case they have any suggestions or changes that need to be made. So, I'm glad, we need to make sure we're on top of that. I did submit, Meet Me Monday concerns, and my colleague, brought up some of them that I had mentioned to you. So I'll wait on those responses. I did have a couple other that I didn't include on that, and it's really more, informational and for you to look at how it affects us. As we know, the development is coming on 17th Avenue, big proposed development for the city of North Miami. But of course, we will be impacted. And so it was suggested to me by one of the residents about a potential turning light on 17th and Opa-locka Boulevard. And I know there's a process. I know you got to get the county involved and all that. But I would like for us to look at that. That requires legislation. I'll obviously sponsor it, but I think that can just be something reaching out to the county and the proper department. But that's going to be, an impact. And actually, we need it now, even before the development, because sometimes when I even travel there, it gets backed up trying to make the turn. So I'd like to see if we can work on that and the traffic impact, and some kind of mitigation strategy for how that new development is going to impact, obviously, 17 and Opa-locka Boulevard. And if you want to, if I need to meet with you to get more clarity, it's really trying to be proactive, because it's going to have an impact on that roadway, which is already congested, even though we got all the lighting and flashing signs, but it's a challenge now. So I can imagine the future, what that would be and what they would look like. So if you could, add that to, I guess, to my Meet Me Monday list of things. And if you, need to meet with me on more specifics, I'll be glad to. That's what I have for. Oh, that's what I had for you. As I stated in my Meet Me Monday concerns, and residents want to see some things happening with regard to beautification and the simple thing, grass cutting and all those type of things. So we need to make sure that occurs as well. That's all I have for the manager. Thank you.
We can start with reports. Commissioner Bass?
Thank you for allowing me to go first. Well, I just want to give two announcements. On June 20th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., we will be hosting our 4th annual son and daughter basketball tournament at Shabundi.
I'm in partnership with SWAT. And the last one is June 30th through July 30th, I believe. We will be hosting Pages in the Park, and I spoke about it earlier, and the participation for Pages in the Park is beyond what I dreamt that it would be. So I'm looking forward to being able to continue on literacy throughout the summer with other initiatives. And I'm inviting all of you to take part. The schedule has already been made, and I would ask Nova to share it with you all. Thank you.
No problem. Commissioner Santiago?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In my report, I like to say that we have a wonderful time together with other community, and I want to say thank you to my colleagues that be there that night. Starting when Commissioner Irving, we enjoying it there with you. When Vice Mayor Kelly and Mr. Mayor, people love that kind of activity like that. We can get together the whole community, and I see that we have a very, a good time with no problem at all. That's the best thing, and I think that we're gonna repeat it in the future again. We're supposed to do it every first Friday of the month, but I made some decision to suspending the one for July because we're gonna have a big event the next day, the 4th, the celebration. I don't want to say nothing because that's my colleague in the end, and she has something beautiful here. Well, she designed the sign, and we're ready to go. But it's you go with that, please. Okay? Yes. The other thing is we have a good time too on Sunday, like Commissioner Adri say, the whole neighbor together. We ate, we play. Vice Mayor Kelly, he get it with me because I lose 3 times in chess and domino. Yes, yeah, but that happened. Probably next time I doing better. But we pass a good time there in chess and domino, and let's go again. And I know that we're gonna have a very good time in that park in the picnic that my Cal is gonna introduce later on to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We hosted our farm share distribution last Wednesday at Shabani Pavilion. Thank you always the support of my colleagues. Mr. Irvin came by and assisted. We serviced over 300 families really in a 3-hour period. And I'm always thankful to staff and all of those who assist us and helping and reaching our community. I attended the code enforcement luncheon that the manager hosted in recognition of our code enforcement officers. Attended the block party, as Commissioner Santiago said, on last Friday evening. We attended the Parents of Murdered Children Memorial Breakfast on last Saturday morning. And of course, one of our own park staff members is a member of that, having lost her child. So that was always and always is very emotional. We attended that. I hosted a monthly Meet Me Monday meeting this past Monday at Helen Miller Center. I want to thank the manager and always for staff allowing them to attend. And also, I submitted, of course, those concerns to from the residents. But as I explained to the city manager, residents should not have to keep repeating the same concerns over and over. And so I want to just put that on the record as well. And I know you don't cut grass, you don't police, you don't do code, you don't do any of those things yourself. You have staff, but we need to kind of really look at that because the residents are demanding, not really demanding, just want what should be occurring like other cities. Our upcoming Juneteenth celebration, of course, Juneteenth falls on a holiday which is next Friday. And because there's so much and limited resources, but we are going to have a Juneteenth celebration that I'm co-hosting with Commissioner Irvin next Wednesday at Helen Miller at 1 p.m. So if you're not busy, you can come by for that. The flyer hopefully be out by tomorrow or Friday. We also, as he said, stopped by and supported the chess and dominoes that Commissioner Bass and Commissioner Santiago hosts. And I was not going to tell anybody that you lost 3 times. See, I wasn't going to mention that, but you did. But it's always a great thing to see folks coming together in the community. And so we're supportive of that. We won't have our monthly Feeding South Florida distribution and resource fair on next Friday due to the holiday, but we'll be back with it and DMV in July. We'll resume that next month. We're working on some other initiatives that you'll hear more about in the coming weeks. So that is my report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Irvin?
Thank you. Okay. I would like to say this Friday is bingo, summertime bingo. So it's going to be at Shabundi Park at 6 p.m. Please come out and holla bingo if you win, of course. Also, we're going to be doing, Commissioner Santiago and I are doing the 4th of July family picnic and fireworks. That's going to be at, we're moving it over to Ingram Park this year. And come out, bring your family. You can bring your barbecue grills, whatever make you would do at the beach. You could do it over at Ingram Park. We're going to have water slides for the kids. And if you decide not to bring your grill, we will have not ribs, not steaks, but food, hot dogs and hamburgers and water, plenty of water, so water sports, water activities, bring your bathing suits or whatever. We're planning to have a great time. I don't know, my co-host might bring a pig. I don't know. We don't know.
Probably, man, because I love, probably the pig and don't forget about the ribs, only VIP.
Okay. Okay. So maybe we're gonna have VIP ribs. We're gonna see. Also, it's gonna be from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And you are expected to clean up behind yourself, just so you know. I don't want to leave that out. Also, since I'm talking about parks, football and cheer season have officially started. Please feel free, residents, to come. Keep your children at home. Come and register them in your very own city for football and cheer. Also, Madam Manager, we started summer camp this week. I have had a ball. I kind of know what time they bring the kids outside. Watching the kids with their made up T-ball. They were playing T-ball with a kickball. But anyway, it was working for them. Today they were doing some kind of relay races with the kids. And one of my favorite was the whole red light, green light at the other day. So I'm not sure if there's any spots still available or not, but you can check to see. But our summer camp is underway. Also, I have to apologize to you and Commissioner Bass. I completely forgot about chess. Yes, she left. I completely forgot about chess. After church, my husband wanted to surprise me with the Sheen pop-up shop because he knows
that's more important.
I'm a favorite Sheen, my favorite store. So I didn't miss it. I also want to thank Commissioner Santiago for First Fridays. I love the vibe. Sorry I couldn't stay till 11 because, 491 don't pay my bills. So I had work to do. But I look forward to the one in August.
I forgot, they're gonna be together with us in 4th of July.
4th of July, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna participate in out there.
Yes. And the last thing is I really want staff to know that I completely appreciate the things that you all do for our city. And that's why I had the breakfast, the appreciation breakfast for you all this morning. Usually I do it for Mother's Day and Father's Day, but I just decided to do it a little different this year. I really appreciate what you all do. Yeah, we all fall a little short sometime, but I appreciate what you all do. As a matter of fact, I was greeted. It meant a lot to me because I was greeted by an officer on my way coming in today. And hey, how you doing? Whatever. And he said, I love the fact that you always speak to us, be it at City Hall, in the street, because I'm always telling our officers, be safe out here. Um, and it's just the little things that go a long way. The small things, you never know how you make somebody's day by saying hi. Simple. But I really wanted you all to know that I really appreciate the hard work that you all put in to our city. I appreciate it. And congratulations to our two employees that won the television. I found out that they both are new employees. It was by happenstance, but congratulations to them for winning the televisions. And I think that's it. Thank you all again.
All right, and I'll close out. So I totally agree with you. I want to say thank you to the staff for the hard work and dedication that you put and the long hours that you put in for the city of Opa-locka. So I do want to acknowledge a couple of things. So we had mayor for the day, and we were honored to host Mr. Tabaris, a 10th grader from Miami Lakes Educational Center. And I want to shout out Officer Louis, who was our personal driver for him. Took that boy everywhere around the city, and it was interesting to know how much history this police department knows about the city of Opa-locka. They took him to the airport. We took him everywhere around the city. So I want to shout out Officer Louis for that. Thank you for that. Also, Madam Manager, Vice Mayor brought it up. I was very impressed to see our honor guard in the lineup at the breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Very
Beautiful.
impressed to see that.
Yeah.
And it was all agencies, a lot of the agencies from Miami-Dade County, but Opa-locka was in the number. And normally, but this year we were there. And so shout out to you in the police department. I want to say that we are doing our mobile dental clinic services that will start on June 26th. We have the flyer posted online. So if you need dental free of charge, you just have to meet the criteria. It's by appointment only, and we're partnering with UHI Community Care Clinic. So if you know somebody who does not have insurance and need dental care, we will be hosting it, and they can get it right here in the city of Opa-locka. It's a mobile dental clinic, but they have to register, right? Register at UHI. Yeah, and they get more information. Also, the scholarships. Y'all know I love the scholarships that we do every year. It's still open. We currently have 3 slots. We have 2 more, but it closes this Friday at 12 p.m. So you know any students that are graduating from this year and looking for that money, we have it here in Opa-locka. Let them know. They need to reach out to the manager's office, Miss Ashley Walker, our chief of staff, and she will happily help, or our social services department will happily help, guide that process and get those children signed up. With all that being said, I am so excited that we are about to go home because I am hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, at the beginning of the meeting, you requested a workshop. Am I to poll the commission after the meeting, or were you to provide a date this evening?
I completely forgot about it. Okay, so we'll poll, but if worse comes to worse, depending on how long the agenda is next week, we can do it within the commission meeting and just carve out a certain time. That way we don't have to come out double. So depending, and we just maybe 30 minutes and a hard stop, something like that. Depending on how long.
We also have the hurricane preparedness at the next meeting at 5,
That's my
so
point. So I was gonna do it within the commission meeting. That's what I said,
uh,
within. Yeah.
I'm not clear on how
Doing
that
a
will
public
work.
presentation, we'll
Oh,
discuss it at that
okay.
time. Yeah. I'm trying to say y'all have to come out. Oh, thank you.
Don't we live?
You needed a second.
I would move. Vice Mayor moved it, first adjourn the meeting, Commissioner Santiago seconded. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Because if I see one.
I tried.
Ashley was like, Ashley was pleased. No, I'm trying to. I don't want to tell you. 8x4. I'm even asking for the bill, but you. No, I can't wait. What the place is on? No. Lord,